I believe that I am the best person for the job of President of the United States. My unique talents give me the ability to be assertive and diplomatic at the same time. I'm a person who will spike the conversation, who will get politics rolling and stimulate new questions and new answers to our current political dilemma facing our nation. I believe I have a keen understanding of the economy and how to improve where we're at relative to other nations around the world. I believe that our goal at America's Third Party was to create a very strong platform in which would propel the American people forward with new opportunities and a new possibility of creating a better nation, a cleaner environment, and less war. Diplomatic at the same time.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I am David Sponheim, and this is our travel show. ATP Travel Show is operational. This is our fifth day maybe, of the travel show, and we've been doing an amazing job. And this is an absolute perfect time to be broadcasting a show to all of you viewers. I can't think of a better time in American history when we have had such a bad showing by the Democrats and such a bad president in the Republicans. You know, this is almost the perfect time for a third party, and it's really incumbent upon all of us to keep talking about a third party to everyone we know and meet, because there's no way we're going to be able to pull this off unless we spread awareness and spread the word about what we're doing. In case you didn't know, third parties have been going on since the early 1870s, right after the Act of 1871 was written, which gave Washington, D.C. almost a corporate status and allowed very powerful people to control our destiny over what the Constitution had originally assigned. A representative democracy was supposed to be something that was easy to do without any impedance, but unfortunately we have huge amounts of money in Washington controlling this election, controlling the two parties, and driving American people apart. Left versus right, black versus white, Asian versus Hispanic, driving everybody, separating everybody, not uniting everybody in the center of the political spectrum. And we believe that the key to uniting the country is to find a common ground in the middle of the political spectrum that all of us can understand and relate to. And I think that's what we've done. We've honed our ideas so that they appease the people on the right who want to bear arms, and as we want to protect your rights to bear arms completely, we won't be talking about gun control in my first 4 years, or any time for that matter. I want to make sure that everyone knows that that is number one on my list, as well as legalizing marijuana, which many of you people on the right are having a hard time understanding, but it's helping our economy and it's helping people with a lot of the sicknesses that they're suffering from right now, and it's not a physically addictive drug. So I will be pulling marijuana from the list of controlled substances that's currently out there right now, through executive order, and then Congress can follow suit. We're also dealing with the environment that the Democrats have failed to solve. We've got an old Clean Air Act that has not been revised. We've got a potential for a brand new Clean Air Act, which will include indoor air pollution, and that's an area that I think we can build new technologies to help all of us breathe clean air. Now, on my trip, I travel in my mobile travel center, my MTC, and we filter the air. We have ionizers going, HEPA filters, and I literally breathe fresh air when I'm driving down the road with diesel and all kinds of things flashing at me. So I've always been very aware of that, and that's something we're going to work toward, getting everybody cleaner air. Cleaner water is a high priority too, and I know that presidents like Barack Obama have failed to help people in Flint, Michigan. We will have point of use filtration for everybody who suffers from any toxicity in their water, and I will offer a chance for everybody to send water samples of their tap water to the White House to get started on this program. We'll be delivering water filter systems to you courtesy of the government initially, and we'll see how we can adapt to that over time. Depends on how bad your water is, polluted wise. It may take more filters, so we'll have to look at all those options. But building jobs, our homestead renewal plan is a great way to get people working in a time where people are losing their jobs. Automation is taking over their work, so we're going to offer new jobs, fixing up houses, putting on solar rooftops, and even cleaning up our parks and taking over a brand new plan I have is called the new CCC, fashioned after FDR's CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps. This will be kind of like AmeriCorps for young people, and we will offer places to live at parks and jobs, paying $15 an hour to start, for people with very little training to just do cleanup and basically work with picking up garbage in parks. What the Park Service does today will be done by a corps of engineers or a corps of civilians. So all of this is a big, huge new direction for us. Getting a better control over the environment also includes helping the homeless. And the Democrats have done horrible. They have not even put toilets in bathrooms and things that people need when they are literally on the street in San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Chicago, Cincinnati. I mean, it's terrible. We shouldn't have all these homeless people on the street, so we could probably even integrate a plan to create enlarged parks for people to actually pitch tents and have mobile service units at those locations permanently to provide showers, washer, dryer. Mobile mailboxes, for one, would really help people because it empowers them to have a mailbox. So these mobile service units could have mailboxes, as well as emails and computer stations, Wi-Fi, even USB charging systems running off solar energy. You name it, we'll have it at the mobile service units, and we'll have a lot of these all across the country to help people who are homeless. There's nobody looking for me. I'm pretty much a clean slate. I mean, I think I had one ticket in the early 80s when I was driving through Hollywood, and I made a U-turn, and in Los Angeles you can make a U-turn legally at a 4-point turn, but the Hollywood guy pulled me over on a motorcycle and he said, no, you violated Hollywood law. So that was the one ticket I had that's on my record. So the Democrats aren't even taking on the forced vaccination issue. Neither is Donald Trump either. I mean, aside from hiring Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and getting good results from him, Trump hasn't even mentioned it. So forced vaccinations are big on the American people's minds. I don't want to impose forced vaccinations, ever. No herd inoculation. I'd rather distribute air masks to people all across the country to prevent pandemics from occurring. And that means something we'll be doing it through the CDC. As I downsize the CDC, I'm going to take some of that money and put it directly toward air masks for everybody in America. And as you probably know, I'm the guy who created the basic income plan, which is a fantastic solution. And I've matched anybody out there with an offer of $11.11 per month, if indeed Elizabeth Warren is offering $11.10, or even whatever she's offering. So I'm having to step up and beat everybody at this bidding war to get the most money to the American people to get through life. Now, if Elizabeth Warren or Andrew Yang do not win the Democratic nomination, then my basic income plan goes back to $500 a month. I'm only taking on the big guys with this basic income plan, not somebody who can just lie through their teeth and say they can do this and that. I'm not lying when I say I can deliver whatever numbers I have to deliver. It's just that I have to take it out of the military budget to finance it. And I know the military is not going to like that. Okay, Dr. So-and-so said, I heard your campaign was on YouTube, but I can't find it. Are you being censored there? Yes, heavily, doctor. Yes, but you can check me out at www.youtube.com/America's Third Party. Now, we've been shadow banned over at YouTube and Twitter for some time, for about 8 years, but you can still go directly to this link and find us. Basic income is a new idea from my perspective. We started the idea in 2012. It was suggested by other people throughout history, but in the modern time that we're living in, it's a new idea, okay? Either way, we're going to get the numbers that we can get to you that'll make sense for a lot of you. Even people who are working in the stock market might want money to, pay their valet. I don't care. Any citizen would get this as long as they're not collecting Social Security or disability. If you're collecting those two, or one of those two, or both, you certainly would qualify for no extra funding. If you're getting food stamps and Social Security and/or disability, your food stamps would remain the same. But if you're not getting anything, or you're getting food stamps and not enough, that's going to bump up to anywhere from $500 to $1,111. Isn't that a great idea? And the nice thing about that concept is, as the aging population takes over, 65% of our population will be over 65 by 2030, we will be able to just shift completely to Social Security from the basic income plan. So we're just kind of preceding the future population changes that are coming. I saw parts of it, Max. I saw the live section, Bernie Sanders saying the same thing over and over again. I heard Kamala Harris actually lied and said that she was bused as a child. I can't believe that she would actually lie and say she was part of the busing program where they forced integrated people. And she outright lied because she came from a very wealthy family, who, by the way, have rejected her completely for her marijuana use. Yeah. Now, a woman who does that is not qualified to be president. We've already got Barack Obama, one of the biggest liars in history, and then Donald Trump, the biggest liar in history, as our reigning liars in front of us. We don't need any more liars. We need honest people running. All right. David, have you ever... No, I've never vape cartridge weed, but I've heard it's pretty good. There's a thing called the heavy hitter. No, it's not a supplement to psychobehavior, no. 1111, if you're collecting Social Security, you're not going to get an extra 1111. That's pretty funny. Okay, you've got a Cuomo lemon handoff. All right, I'll look at that in just a second. Oh yeah, that was the two people that were dead. The father and daughter. Is that real? Is that a real photograph? Yeah, Chris Cuomo and Don Lemon discussed the shocking image of a drowned man and his daughter. I'm not going to show that on the screen because every time I show any violent pictures, YouTube completely bans my show. We've had to post them on the 153news.org every time we want to do this. Every time we have a banned video, we have to go over to 153news.org and post the video. I've got a banned video over there that got only 3 hits in 2 years, according to YouTube. Of course, it's probably 3 million hits for all I know. And we sent it over to 153news.org, and it's gotten well over 1,000 hits in 2 weeks. How is Todd Carpenter? I don't know how he is. I don't even know him. Mark Vaughn is offering $5,000 for my location. Well, it's impossible to find me. Yeah, we actually have VPN and multiple proxy servers that we're running our show through. Dave. Bob. Let me share that in a second. Hang on, Bob. Hey man, I don't do stand-up comedy. Yeah, I do sit-down comedy. It's better for people with hemorrhoids. Not that I have any, because I've done sit-down comedy my whole time. Actually, this is more like sit-down humor, okay? Yeah, because if you do stand-up comedy, you'll get hemorrhoids. All right, thank you. That's amazing, guest 248, that Mark would offer $5,000 for my location. That's beyond belief. Could you give me any kind of verification of that, like sending me an email? I'd appreciate it. All right, thank you. That would be great. Yeah. I'll give you my email address. Yeah, I just find that hard to believe that anyone would be so stupid as to try to dox me like that. Yes, working adults above their wages. I'm not going to penalize boomers by not providing allowance for fixed income retirees. No. No, I'm not. Because those people who are working actually work for their money. People who are collecting Social Security are receiving something that they don't work for, that it's a safety net. They may have worked for it throughout their life, but hey, they got benefits along the way. And don't forget, we have to cover your Medicaid costs. Now, I'm offering a plan called Medicaid for All. Thank you, Bob. Medicaid for All is way better than Medicare for All. Number one, it's cheaper. Number two, it already exists. And number three, we just have to get the cost of healthcare down. And the Democrats don't seem to understand that. They just want to keep funding the beast that keeps draining all of our tax dollars. Medicare for All will cost $60 trillion over 10 years, estimates. You cannot talk like that, man. That'll get you out. I'd have to kick you out if you keep that up. Well, I think Cuba has done a great job at educating doctors and getting low-cost health care to their people. I can tell you that. I'm not a big fan of the communist system that Fidel Castro put in place, but he did do that much. He stifled free speech and had thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people in jails torturing them. I don't consider that a good example of a government running for and of and by the people. How is Medicaid for All available to anyone? Medicaid for All is available to anybody right now who has no money. Nope. No. In fact, if you go in there right now with a full insurance plan, and you say you have Blue Cross, Blue Shield, or Primera, what they call it, the top insurance company, you will actually be drained dry by the hospital. They'll hit you with so many bills, so many surgeries, you won't even need them. Just until they drain the maximum they can draw from that, you will then become a Medicaid recipient. Yeah, so it covers everybody. It's a safety net for everyone, even people with insurance. They'll go after Medicaid funds after they drain Primera accounts. I've seen it happen. I saw an older woman who had a great policy literally being operated on unnecessarily just to get her policy and insurance. You got a terrible arm injury. We've got to help you with your... Are you having problems lifting? Oh, well, let's operate on your tendons. That kind of thing. Sleep problems? Well, we have a $10,000 sleep unit you can use, or you can get the one scaled down for our Medicaid recipients to $3,500. They're selling people sleep units right now all across the country for sleep apnea. All the clinics are billing Medicaid. It's a huge scam going on. It's happening. The underworld crime people are involved in what they do is they get older people's Social Security numbers, and then they start pretending like they're writing orders for oxygen, and they send those orders into the government, and we have to write the bill for their oxygen. The people aren't getting their oxygen. The mob isn't delivering oxygen. They're just getting paid for delivering oxygen. Now that's a Class C felony or Class B felony. It's not a Class A felony like going out on the street and dealing cocaine. So the mob prefers to do underworld white-collar crime like that as opposed to, being right out in front of your face dealing cocaine. So there's all kinds of fraud going on. So we're going to have experts analyze the Medicaid budget much more carefully than they're doing right now. Forensic debt experts who can manage the debt of other situations are necessary in order to get the real culprits of Medicaid fraud out in the open so we can all see them. Recently, the government's been doing a lot of that. They've been going after some real bad abusers of Medicaid fraud and Medicare fraud. So that's a good thing. There is a track record of whistleblowers blowing the whistle on these unscrupulous doctors who I consider, instead of professionals, I consider them pro-criminals, because they're literally robbing you so that they can put their Lexus on Craigslist and buy a Tesla. That's what they're all about. Hey, by the way, you're not allowed to quote local newspapers in our show. Yeah, sorry. Because the local newspaper was biased against me and did a terrible slam and didn't even give me a chance to rebut them, which in my opinion is a violation of free speech and they should be charged with a crime. My local newspaper was very, very mean to me. So you'll have a 1 hour wait just to come back in the show. So let's take a look at what happened. The overall assessment of the Democratic debates was boring. And they used my ideas. Biden was out there posting my idea about getting everybody a free health care plan at the JC or community college. We've had that for, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years? Our 6-week to 6-month training program will partner with local businesses to get you guys a free education. And we'll double your Pell Grants to cover the cost. Biden's out there using my ideas now. I mean, they're all running around with my ideas. Except I don't support cap and trade. Outgoing Chinese ambassador to Canada softens tone and says tensions are only temporary. Good. Well, China is basically in the crosshairs of a very serious situation with Trump causing a trade war. And the last thing we need with a trade war and with China is for Trump to escalate with a trade war with Japan or any other country. I mean, it's like he's trade war happy. Oh, we could easily win a trade war with Japan, no problem. Okay, well, let's see how easy that is, Donald. Canadian forces say nothing unusual or provocative in Chinese reaction to Canadian warship. Oh, nice. So it's already elevated to a potential military strike. Trump is screwing things up, something terrible. In fact, I should be called into Washington right now as Vice President of the United States, just to straighten things out. I'm that confident I can resolve a lot of these hassles with China and, of course, Iran. My goodness, Trump has mismanaged that relationship, something terrible. A Washington man was found guilty of a 1987 murder of a young British Columbia couple. Wow, that's an old story. Neo-Nazi sentenced to life without parole for the Charlottesville hate crimes. Oh, that is ridiculous. That is the worst sentencing I've ever seen in my life. That guy, even if he's a neo-Nazi, he doesn't deserve life without parole for running into a crowd of people, if indeed that's what he did. The woman, by the way, died of a heart attack, in case you didn't know. She wasn't hit by the car. She was frightened, and I'm not minimizing the death, but that's a complete abridgment of justice there. That man doesn't deserve life imprisonment for what he did. That's crazy. Wow, I'm kind of shocked at that ruling. Okay, back to the room. What's going on? Donald Trump did not write The Art of the Deal. Tony Schwartz did, a ghostwriter. Donald Trump couldn't even read that book if he tried. If you asked Donald Trump to read The Art of the Deal to you on camera, he'd stumble over the words. I'm a genius, a very stable genius, but I can't read. He struggles with words on the teleprompter. He has to read them over and over again. He's got some sort of a dyslexic problem. Wow. A Nigerian killed her and burnt her. A University of Utah student was killed by a Nigerian. Do you have the story on that? Wow. Yeah, I just got clips from it in the show. Okay, and the House is back to ban on Trump properties. Right. They put a ban on the White House spending at Trump's properties, sending a message to the president. So he's been having us pay Secret Service agents to stay at Mar-a-Lago, and we have to fund their room charges, which he then receives. He's been profiting from the Trump hotel in D.C. as well. It's crazy. The Trump hotel in D.C. he's made $90 million on. No wonder he doesn't want to receive an annual salary. It's crazy. Wow. Of course, he doesn't need $400,000. He made $40 million a year at the Trump hotel. You're going to order some pizza at Comet Pizza? Extra anchovies? Yeah. Are you in D.C., Cliff? I don't even think they sell pizza there, do they? I wouldn't buy a pizza there. Well, what do you mean? What is it with Democrats' obstruction? Trump has committed obstruction every turn. Just 3 weeks ago, he said he wasn't going to even talk about the budget or set up an infrastructure plan if they keep investigating him. That's obstruction of justice. They have the right to investigate him forever, whenever, if ever. This man is oblivious to the way our government operates, and his behavior indicates that he is unable to make decisions without backtracking and flip-flopping on every single thing he does. I'm surprised you people can't see the ineptitude that Donald Trump exudes from his skin. Everything about him is fake, even his skin color. It's beta-carotene. He sprays it on. Camilla lied, Max. No. And any accusation of Biden being a white supremacist is absurd. Or his ties to white supremacists is absurd. You know, the Democrats remind me of a snake eating its own tail. They're so butthurt about not actually passing the Civil Rights Act, which, by the way, the Republicans passed in 1965. They're so butthurt about that they refuse to admit that they themselves are the worst racists, having most of the Democrats being Southern Democrats. Even Hillary is made racist slurs, like saying all blacks look alike, which is really derogatory toward black people. Okay, guest 2-4, we're going to have to remove you from the show because you're just not fitting into our room. Yeah, I don't care how many viewers I have at iVlog. We don't need you. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Okay, do you want me to rewrite this?
Yeah. Okay. The question is, which way do you want to come into this? Why don't you get a new shirt there and get ready to or you just want to wear your Oak Harbor shirt? Because you kind of don't look like you're ready for a show, to be honest.
I need another shirt from the vehicle.
Oh, you do?
Because otherwise I have this shirt. Well, I need my sweater.
Do you have a sweater in here? Well, just wear that shirt. It's cool. If that's the only thing you have, that's cool. It's just she's wearing a sweatshirt from our long day of travel, and Sarah really has been working nonstop. She hasn't taken a break. And I really feel bad for you even doing the show, to be honest. You wear my shirt. Yeah. Now, one of the things I noticed about in my drives around the country is there's a lot of 5G network bump stations, 300 feet apart. Now, I don't know if you've seen these in your area or not, but they're all over the place. And we don't have them in Washington State yet in a big way. So I've just been noticing them, and it's like, wow. They put in all these 5G transmitters, and they're 300 feet apart, and they're going to be sending this massive signal, and they probably already are sending this massive signal through the air. And I just don't get that. Okay, let's talk about Sarah. She made she'll tell you what she made. That looks kind of like, that looks good. You don't mind wearing that? Oh, look at this. Oh, that's incredible. This is like a stew of sorts. This is cool. We've got some sausage, potato, carrot, cabbage, mushroom.
No cabbage.
Oh, no cabbage. This is really nice. So we've got this amazing dish here with all kinds of...
a little more seasoning.
No, I think it's perfect. I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch Sarah eat. Or, excuse me, I'm going to eat and watch Sarah talk to you. I look ill.
At least the sun
What?
went down, so maybe it's cooler outside.
Wait a second. That's a mutable offense. I don't look ill. The lighting in the show is portable lighting. Do I look ill?
No.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe somebody would say such a thing. Let me bring a little more color in.
Maybe I'll go in and you can.
There we go. That's a little more. I think I got a little more color in there. It's all lighting. All right. No, I'm not ill. My goodness. Sarah's here. No, he just got muted. Thank you, Sarah, for making this. This is incredible. Wow.
Okay, good. I look a little different with my shirt, but that's all good.
It looks good,
I think
actually.
It does look good on me.
Yeah.
Okay. My color was off on the broadcast. Yes. I'm glad that he was concerned about David. Yes, absolutely.
It was just derogatory. I don't look ill. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. I know people just love you and are concerned about you.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure you're healthy. All right. Anyway, latest shot. What kind of shot?
Wow, this is really good, Sarah.
We're taking screen captures of David's show, so you can show David what it looks like. I don't know.
I had to make adjustments to the color.
Yeah. Hello, Sunstar. How are you? You went from 125 pounds, 295 went from 125 pounds, 5'9" to 157 pounds. So you gained like 32 pounds gained? Like, why? And what were you eating? And why? Well, Pirate, I'm not going to stop you.
Wow, this is so good.
Pet stealing, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, dogs, cats. Wait, what? Bob needs ARing. You're taking pictures of me, True Blue? Oh, okay. Check it out. There I am. Okay. Do you use I bring a case. I don't know what David does. I bring a case for that. Thanks. Diaper person, lover person.
So good.
Okay. You're passed out. Sarah looks good no matter what she wears. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You just taste the vitamins.
Thank you. You had, except the green screen thing. You had a flight off 3 groundhogs trying to eat all the flowers. Oh, you had a fight off. 3 groundhogs were trying to eat all the flowers you just planted. My goodness, groundhogs are difficult, especially because they like go up and after the roots, and they're really hard to get rid of. Wow. Nice. Papo Fapo hasn't had a drink in 27 days.
Good.
Is working at a remote camp, and it feels better than he has in a long time.
Good.
Hey, yes, Bob. Hey, Sarah, stop, Sarah. Yes, you. Used a hockey stick and a hose. Did you kill the groundhog, or is it still alive? Because easily offended? Maybe. Tomorrow will tell if the groundhog is still there. Kind of reminds me of that show, the golf one. Some weird golf show with Rodney Dangerfield and a groundhog. Yeah. Mad Dog was concerned about David's health. I get it. You have to fill in the hole they dug under the balcony. Can you fill it in with concrete? And they can't dig it again?
He was in the pre-show, and he didn't say a thing. He didn't say a thing about my coloring in the pre-show.
Oh, Mad Dog. Yeah, David says you should have told him that during his pre-show, not when he's actually broadcasting and recording.
Mm-hmm.
So in the future, you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Sometimes
It's derogatory.
asking are you okay
It's
is
derogatory. I'm feeling
derogatory.
great.
He's feeling great.
Yeah, I'm just eating the most vitamins I could ever eat.
2 groundhogs were keeping you busy while the other one was taking out rocks.
Mm.
I know.
This is the best natural soup I think I've ever had.
Oh, you put in the rocks in the hole yesterday. It's the best tasting natural soup.
Yeah. It's just so
And
good.
it's not as bland as the leek soup I made for your
Yeah.
dad.
Remember I lost all that weight on soup that one year?
And then
We ate soup that whole year?
kind of, not really.
In the summer I ate soup the whole summer and we lost weight.
Yeah. I make a pretty good soup.
Great.
Sarah, if I had bought just one Bitcoin at $5,000, I would be making a profit of $7,000 today. I don't have $5,000 to spend on a fantasy in the sky, on electronic currency. I'm not going to spend $5,000 on that. I might spend $5,000 on like material for a house. I might spend $5,000 on vacationing. But I'm not going to spend $5,000 on a Bitcoin. I know. Mad Dog thinks he tried to tell me if I just invested in Bitcoin.
You know,
I did snag David's shirt. It's true. Because my shirt has a little logo on it. Both of my shirts do, that I brought on the trip.
Yeah.
So I might be wearing this shirt for the show for the rest of the year. No, actually I have a sweater in the car.
No, this shirt's okay.
I have a house. Wait, you don't have a house. Wait, you don't have a house? Wait, what are you saying? On housing, maybe I meant to say housing. Dave's. Yes. Okay.
Wow, these CGI animations are so realistic. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. It's Friday night. We will not be doing a show tomorrow night, by the way, because we're still traveling.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get David to cancel all Saturday shows for the summer.
I know.
But, I mean, that's not necessarily going to happen.
I know. I'm thinking seriously.
But
You're right.
maybe
I mean,
that would be a good idea.
it might be the ideal thing for us because we
That
really
way,
do need the vacation.
I mean, it's summer, and here's what you need to do for the summer.
Vacation.
If you normally watch David, I know we need a vacation, but I'm telling the people what they should do when they normally watch you. You need to find a teacher to date. Because
really.
this is the only time of the whole school year, or well, of the whole year, that teachers can go on dates.
That's true.
And so you need to be like, hey, I want to date a teacher. Hello, Big Outlaw. You need to date a teacher during the summer. And that way David cannot do a show on Saturday. And you can take a teacher to date on a Saturday. And then if things hit it off and you do well with the teacher now in the summer, then you could still continue to date her on Saturdays. I'm glad you've made good money with Bitcoin. I know it's like stock. One day it's low, one day it's high, sell when it's high, buy when it's low. Well, I do the opposite with stock. I tend to buy when it's high and sell when I lose money. Sometimes. All right.
Well, I'll take over for you. You
Okay.
Take a break. Thank you so much. No, it's great soup.
All right.
Thanks for giving me a break.
I'm glad you. Did you want to check on?
No, I think everything's good. It's nice and cool. Wow. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Good job, Sarah.
Well, I'm gonna have some soup.
Yeah, that soup was extraordinary. Thank you very much. Excuse the green screen effect, everybody, but we're working with minimal capabilities here. I don't have a full lighting system. I've got a temporary lighting system, so we're working with it. You can throw a little volume on that TV if you need it. Okay. Hey, Max. So, Max, I got that article on Boeing, and yeah, there's a lot of things that Boeing have to answer to. They've been doing some pretty abbreviated checks on their planes, and our government's going to have to grill them to get them to do better. Really is unfortunate. They've been ramrodding these planes through production thinking it's perfectly okay, and it could have been the cause of the death of 346 people recently in Sri Lanka and Ethiopia, and they haven't even admitted it, which is very strange. The immigration problem is happening right now at the border, as you know. The real story is more like what Ocasio-Cortez was saying, because really on the internet people are hearing some nightmare stories about what they're doing down there to these poor people, mostly families who are fleeing their economic situation in their home country. And I don't have sympathy for people that are committing illegal acts, but I have what is called general human sympathy for people that are now having their human rights violated by our own country. So that's something that has to be corrected. Trump is doing some heinous things down there. And recently the two border agents that killed themselves 300 miles apart with gunshots to their head, almost at the same time. And that begs the question, is this really happening? Seriously? I mean, really? I think these people the border agents were killed because they probably said enough is enough, and their commanding officer said, okay, let's just kill them and make an example so that no border patrol agents say anything about what they're doing to these kids. But investigators found immigrant kids and families locked in disgusting conditions in border camps. And these are Department of Homeland Security checks. DHS found this to be unsatisfactory, in fact, heinous. According to a recently described draft of the DHS report that BuzzFeed News looked at, they visited several border facilities, DHS did, in Rio Grande Valley earlier this month. And they found adults and minors with no access to showers. Many adults only fed bologna sandwiches, and detainees banging on cell windows, desperately pressing notes in the windows of their cells that detailed their time in custody. These people are getting no hot showers, no hot food for families and children. Some kids were being held in closed cells, and there were severe overcrowding. Babies are being denied their baby bottles and diapers, and they're being handed wet ones, little wet naps to clean themselves with. I mean, this is beyond atrocious what's happening under Trump. This man is behaving like Adolf Hitler in our own country, and we're just sitting around waiting for the Democrats to do something, and as you can see, they haven't even started the impeachment process. This is a travesty of justice at the highest level. We need a third party to spearhead an impeachment process, but unfortunately we don't have one in place. We've got a very lame duck Democratic Congress, which think, in some ways, the Democrats think that they were elected in the midterms because they want amnesty for illegal aliens. They're out to lunch. They're completely deluded. It's not correct that they do that. It won't discourage anybody. Killing people on concrete floors and letting people die of medical emergencies is not going to keep people from coming to this country. You're an idiot. Sammy Davis says his local county jail has 8 on the floor in a 2-man room. Wow, I don't doubt that at all. Hey, you know something, you Republicans who are so pro-life should realize that if we had anti-abortion laws 50, 60 years ago, our population would be 45% greater, and many of them would be criminals. We'd have 60 million criminals roaming the streets, still not looking for jobs, just like we have criminals today not looking for jobs. So I'm still pro-choice, even though I recognize your concern for women's rights. I want to make sure that women have the right to at least ultrasound their baby before they have a Planned Parenthood experience. I'm suggesting ultrasounds at every Planned Parenthood clinic in America, portable ultrasounds that every woman should look at their living fetus to know that that child will be terminated inside of them. I think it's a very good idea I came up with on Liberty Radio in 2015. Oh, excuse me, it was 2010. Liberty Radio, I talked about this. 2010. Yep, I brought up the ultrasound. You got something, Cuomo, migrant? Yeah, we're not going to play any. No, don't keep posting that, okay? I'm sad too about it, but again, don't keep posting it because I'm not going to click the link. They will literally ban my video if I put the picture of that little that child next to her father on the video. Seriously, they'll claim any number of things. They banned every video that I've ever had of what could be fakery. We don't know. It looks real to me, but no. In fact, I'm boycotting the Stones because I think they should retire, and I don't understand why Mick Jagger hasn't just wrapped it up and said, "Hey, I've had my last, performance, and I'm just going to paint it black." But I love their music. But again, I'm not going to see their act. It just doesn't make sense. Why is he still performing? It makes you wonder what's wrong with this guy. He's got what, $400 million in personal assets. And why is Paul McCartney still performing? What's wrong with these people? Well, it's possible they're working for the devil. Or, Tavistock Institute. The people that created the Beatles may have been creating the Rolling Stones and Badfinger, all kinds of groups that may very well be controlled by a very dark force of people, Luciferians, that actually hired these people, and now they're in contract. They have to work. They sold their soul to Satan. I mean it. I'm serious. Mick Jagger probably made a deal with the devil. Tavistock Institute, they don't play around. Yeah, remember Peter Ham of Badfinger? Get this. He ran out of money. They made only $2 million on, 7 hits? Major hits, top of the chart hits. $2 million for the whole group. That's all Tavistock would give them. Peter Ham, if you research it, he ended up getting really poor really fast, telling his wife, "I'm going to go take care of this." Those were his last words. And then he leaves the house, never comes back, and he's dead. Now, it's very likely Peter Ham went to his handlers at the Tavistock and said, "Hey, I'll tell people about how you put this whole group together." And they said, "No, you won't. You're out of here." They pulled his plug and they suicided him. The same thing happened, 8 years later? When Evans, I think it's Dan Evans was his name. Yeah, the Beatles too. Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder if Brian Epstein was terminated with a heroin injection because he was going to say, "Hey, you people, you're paying our bills, but you're not giving us enough." If anybody would have said that, it would have been Brian Epstein for the Beatles. And the media made some cockamamie story about him being a homosexual who overdosed because he couldn't have John Lennon, which is ridiculous. So it's very likely all these people were killed, suicided. Same thing happened to 2 people in Badfinger. Now these deaths of 2 Border Patrol agents is similar in nature to what I'm talking about, so I'm kind of segueing back to our immigration problem. 2 men, 300 miles apart, in Nogales, New Mexico, both killed themselves with a gunshot, while we're bringing in hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens and treating them like animals. It's more than likely these were the guys that were the whistleblowers who were saying, "I'm not going to be a Border Patrol agent and put up with this. I have a duty to people and humanity." Boom, they're dead. Or what about those New York Police Department officers? One was a high-level homicide detective, and the other was the chief above him. Both shot themselves, 3 weeks ago? Both had their eyes on Anthony Weiner's 600,000 emails that the QAnon group claimed that will somehow surface. Those emails have been shut down, and those men are dead. We haven't heard a bit from Donald Trump about 600,000 emails from Anthony Weiner. Not one word from the FBI. So suppression of evidence is going on at the highest levels in our government, and we are sitting back as a nation wondering, gee, wonder if the Democrats will fix it. They won't even admit it's happening. The Democrats won't even admit that chemtrails are being dumped on us daily. Neither will Republicans admit that. So clearly we have parties that are useless now. And we need a new political party to solve America's problems. I think everyone knows that. I met a woman who actually said that Mick Jagger was the Antichrist. Yeah. There's a Mormon here that says Elder Cook meets Mick Jagger, and he believes he's the Antichrist. Wow. Well, you know, there are a lot of people in churches around the world that believe that Mick Jagger is Satan. Yeah, I hear you. Thanks for sharing that little tidbit, cult of Snishnosh. Yeah, I walked into a woman's house in Compton delivering some T-shirts to a Christian group that I did about 100 shirts for one day. Back when I was a T-shirt manufacturer, or managed a T-shirt operation. Yeah, and I delivered 100 shirts to this church, and she sat down with me, this black woman in Compton, and told me all about how Mick Jagger was the Antichrist. And she was convinced. I mean, she was hook, line, and sinker. She believed he was the dark force, yeah.
What about that woman you met who was best friends with different...
Oh, I did meet a woman in Redondo Beach, or Hermosa Beach, who knew the Rolling Stones. She was a roadie. A lot of women hung around the Rolling Stones and, got to know them. She had the coolest house in Hermosa Beach. I'm not going to tell you her name because she might even still be out there, but she has a funny name too. But it's going in my book, I'll tell you that. She actually had an experience every single time that Jagger came into town, and the Stones came into town. They pulled their limousine into her front circular driveway in Hermosa Beach, and they parked it, and they partied all night into the next day. And she told me this. She said, "Yeah, I used to party with the Stones." And I'm going, "Really?" And she showed me her wall of Stone pictures, and they were all Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and her together. She was real. Yeah, I had an interesting meeting with her. I was like overwhelmed. I was like, "Whoa, really?" Yeah. Well, we still haven't found out who killed the Kennedys, by the way. We're working on that. Yeah, well, those people that think the world is flat, they're listening to the CIA tell them that the world is flat. The CIA is running a counterintelligence propaganda plan to divert people from thinking that we didn't go to the moon. Yeah. There's actually credible evidence that we didn't go to the moon because we haven't been back in 50 years. But yeah, this is a situation where they want to take us to the extreme, so that now they're saying, "Oh no, not only did we not go to the moon, but the Earth is flat." They're saying. It's like, no, the Earth is round. Stormzy tears up the stage at Glastonbury. Okay, great. The greatest night of my entire life, he told the crowd. Three songs, Glastonbury, Stormy. Okay. It's too bad we can't listen to Stormy live, otherwise we'll be monetized. The moon is not a hologram. You people who believe the flat Earth have got to understand the CIA spends a lot of money convincing you of two things. Three things actually. They associate flat Earth with moon hoax to divert you to that far reaches of credibility. So everyone laughs at you and your family. Whenever you sit at the family dinner, they're like, "Yeah, he believes the Earth is flat too. What an idiot." So then your moon hoax questions are all discredited. But you have a good argument that we didn't go to the moon. So there's a lot of evidence or lack of evidence that we went to the moon. So then another one they use is we're being sprayed, of course, by chemtrails. They say, so the CIA put together chemtrail sites that have reptilians on them. So people are accessing information on chemtrails, see pictures of reptilians. Not on my site, chemtrailparty.com, but they can find any kind of a reptilian they want on most sites out there. You know who does these kinds of videos or websites are the Podestas and Media Matters. They're actually behind a whole slew of reptilian websites. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and here they're the ones accused of pedophilia. Well, it's easy to say an alien abducted children, right? Sure, there's reptilians. Oh yeah, they're all abducting children. So that's another way they divert your attention. And there's a third way the government diverts your attention. They created a plan to discredit anybody who's against Israel or Zionism. Now, I'm worried that Zionism is taking over the world, New World Order. And I believe that what's done is done. Israel is a great nation. It exists. Let's just admire what they have there. Let's not take that away. But let's recognize that they don't need to be operating our U.S. foreign policy. That's my concern. And anyone who questions Zionism automatically is now is relegated to the belief that the Holocaust didn't happen. Well, that's another CIA ploy to convince people who are against Zionism that it's all a hoax. That's a complete lie. Holocaust really did happen. Millions died. Typhus may have killed millions, admittedly. It may not have all been gas chambers. I'll admit to that. But the bottom line is millions did die, and they had every reason to form a homeland. But did they have the right to take the Palestinians' land away? Probably not. No, so Zionism was at the root of that. No, I don't believe that. No, my belief that Mick Jagger may have sold his soul to the devil is based on the theory that Mick Jagger hung around a very dark character in English history, Jimmy Savile, who to this day people know for sure he murdered children. Now, Mick Jagger and Jimmy Savile were known to party together for years in England. Yeah, so I'm beginning to wonder about Mick Jagger. But I have no belief in my mind that the earth is flat. So something's wrong with your ability to think. I'm going to remove you from the show because I think you're the same guy that keeps coming back. Just ridiculous. Just use some credible thoughts. People worship Satan, okay? They do. There's even 75,000 Satanists living in Detroit. But how many people, really sincerely have seen a flat earth or a dome over our head? I mean, that's ridiculous. So we're not here to hate on Jewish people. I'm not even here to hate on Ashkenazis who happen to think they're Jewish even though they're not. I'm more concerned about Nazis taking over our government. That's my focus, and I don't want you to think that I dislike Jewish people, because I actually like Jewish people, and I think Israel is a great nation. So I'm not an extremist, folks. I'm a moderate. I believe in centrist ideals, where we can still be an ally of Israel, but we don't have to do their bidding in foreign policy that betray opportunities with countries like Iran. Now, we should never have made a treaty with Iran. John Kerry and Barack Obama were foolish to do that. So that's why I openly said that Trump should not sign the treaty with Iran. And he didn't. But I also said to not impose economic sanctions. And you remember when I said that? Well, he did. And that's where he screwed up. Now we've seen a cavalcade of mistakes, and he's doubled down on his mistakes, now attacking Iran, attacking China, and now even attacking Japan, who's trading oil with Iran. Trump is blowing it big time. And it's because of his lack of intelligence that he's unable to understand the nuances of foreign policy and the political theater that we're all living in. It's difficult for me because my IQ clearly towers above Trump's. And I look at this whole paradigm and I'm saying, we can fix this. But we don't need somebody like Trump tweeting out of his butthole on a daily basis. I mean, he'd be better off farting on Twitter than talking or chatting. No, it's not a recording. I'm here right now, hell all day. We're on vacation. Yeah. We're live, yeah. And this is kind of a freedom show. Yeah. It's all about the freedom. America's freedom. I don't know, but you figured out, Johnny. Maybe you can learn how to fart on Twitter. Do something creative. Just start with that. We can't do any kind of clips for Mickey Mouse. That's a monetizable thing. Disney will try to put our show on their monetization list. It is different than tweeting because you know that I say things that are much more carefully planned, and I make statements that are much more articulated than Trump's inability to write or spell, or even speak for that matter. What did Misanthropy do other than say he would take money from Mark to attack my show? I don't know what you're saying. Don't look back in anger. A cappella. Okay, well, I'll look at that a little bit later. Thank you. Yeah, this is all live. We don't draw a lot of viewers now on our show over at iBlog because ever since Mark shut down guest chat at iBlog, he pays them to shut down guest chat. So now you have to get a guest to sign in with an email account. We have much fewer guests than we had before. This is all a plan. Mark has been paid a lot of money by very powerful people to shut me down, and they're not able. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, Mark is not able to shut me down, and it's been a nonstop thing. Yeah, they never really counted on me being this tenacious and this forthright and willing to do whatever it takes. They had no idea that I'm this kind of a person. And we're getting a little background. Let me change my color key to low anti-aliasing. Okay. I'm just trying to get rid of this. Whoops. Okay. I should use VCam, I think. Yeah, maybe I should start VCam. See if it'll work better than this green screen. Let me just try this. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to try this program we picked up, VCam, which is really an interesting. XSplit makes it. It creates green screen effect anywhere. Let me see if that'll make a difference. Okay, well, we were having a private conversation with Hogslammer. Yeah, I purposely muted myself. Thank you. If you read my lips, you know what I'm saying. So what you're going to have to find is a deaf transgender to get involved with who will know what I said. iBlog is data mining. I noticed that, 625. Yeah, I noticed that ever since iBlog received money from Mark to censor me, they've been hitting clicks, and yeah, there's all kinds of stuff loaded. Yeah. Something's not right. I noticed iVlog changed their whole pattern, and we had like 38 guests, and then it dropped down to like 2 the next day. It all happened right when a person from Thailand was writing me a letter, an email, saying this is their only way of communicating with me through a flip phone that they'd bought for, huge amounts of currency. You have to have a suitcase full of currency to get a flip phone in Thailand. Seriously. And they made they made a text message to us, and then all of a sudden guest chat went down. I have it in my archives at home. Yeah, I mean, we have people in our room who are obsessed with transgenderism, and I hope you realize that that's part of the Tavistock Institute's plan. Their most recent attempt to turn everyone into a transgender is part of their propaganda that they're doing. As you know, I'm not in favor of LGBTQ. Oh, that's okay. Go ahead. But I'm not actually in favor of it. But I don't want to discriminate against homosexuals either. Do you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we have a very centrist position, and that's really what we're all about. I don't want to make you think that I hate or dislike transgenders for what they are or who they are. Mark has made millions and millions of dollars censoring me. That's all dirty money, by the way. Yeah. You need Larry Sinclair? You can't get through the night without it? Okay.
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest.
Let's take it from the top. This is Larry Sinclair, the man who claimed he had oral sex with Barack Obama while Barack Obama hit a crack pipe smoking it back in 1999. This man is a brave, courageous man for doing this, and he is a homosexual. I'm just not in favor of telling families and children that transgenderism is a normal behavior. It's not. It's deviant.
Where Senator Obama exited the limousine with $250, which was provided to him by me. Returned a short while later with an 8-ball of cocaine, which he gave to me. I did ingest a couple of lines of cocaine, and shortly thereafter, Senator Obama produced a glass cylinder pipe and packet of crack cocaine from his pocket. Obama then smoked the crack cocaine. I performed fellatio on Senator Obama at the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine, after which I had the driver take me to my hotel, the Comfort Suites, Gurnee, Illinois.
That was Larry Sinclair. Testimonial like that didn't even faze Barack Obama. He's got such a stable of brain-dead Democrats supporting him. Even to this day, you tell people that Barack Obama is a homosexual who's married to a transgender, and they say, oh, you just don't like him because he helped us with Obamacare. No, he actually cost our country $350 billion a year extra with Obamacare. And Medicare for all will bankrupt our nation. As I said earlier, we can't afford the $60 trillion they estimate Medicare for all would cost over 10 years. Because doctors are getting paid too much. Now, I've come up with great ideas to solve the medical problems, like the mobile medical units that we've proposed, and generic medicine. And heck, we've got the whole thing lined up here for you. Why don't I just pull the flag down and give you guys a tutorial on what we talked about last night. Yeah. So these mobile medical units actually will provide low-cost health care in areas all around the country. No, I've never been to the bathhouse, no. No, that wasn't me at the Vulcan Steam Bath in 1981. I was never there. Some guy I met, a friend of mine met at a restaurant. He was this weird guy. He was dressed up as a transgender. And he said to me that he had met, that I looked just like John Davidson. That he had met me at the Vulcan Steam Bath in San Diego in 1981. And I'm going, okay, John Davidson, that's incredible fame. Yeah, that's the guy. And I do look a little like John Davidson, and I actually I saw John Davidson at an airport once, and we kind of looked at each other. He looks a lot different now. He's a completely, kind of countrified guy. I don't believe the guy met John Davidson, but isn't that a funny thing to say? That you look just like John Davidson, who he met at the Vulcan steam bath in San Diego in 1981. I do kind of look like him. It's kind of weird. Wow. It's like, wow, that's kind of strange. He's older than I am, of course. Yeah, the old days of John Davidson. Remember that? That's incredible, John Davidson. Yeah. Maybe I do look like him. I don't care. But he was a transgender. We talked to him for a while. He was an actor, actually. He was an actor, a famous actor. He was in Boys in the Band. And I think he liked to play the role of a transgender. My Hollywood days. No, John Davidson is not in any way a transgender. But the guy claimed he had slept with John Davidson, which I don't believe. Yeah, let me show you who the guy I met was. This guy, Cliff Gorman. He's a fairly famous actor, actually. And he told me that he had met me, that I looked just like John Davidson, who he had slept with at the Vulcan steam bath in San Diego. Here he is. That's the actor I met. And he was dressed up as a woman. Isn't that interesting? He was I don't even know what he's done now. I don't even know where he is, but he's a pretty good actor. But yeah, I think he was doing research for his part in Boys in the Band at the time. But he was making some pretty, is he transvestite? I don't know. Does it matter? I mean, I accept people as they are. I just don't promote LGBTQ, and I don't endorse it. So, excuse me while I spray my face with fruit enzyme. Thank you. That's refreshing. Okay, so the mobile medical units will be dispensing medicine at various places around every city in America. I anticipate having about 200 of these built within 1 year at a cost of $5 million apiece, and we will route money through the VA to build these. I'm not here to cast judgment on transgenders or anyone like that, and I don't believe that they're necessarily one way or the other. I'm not here to make hateful statements about transgenders, but I don't endorse LGBTQ. Yeah, you guys at iBlog must be having a heck of a time. Getting into the show must be hard now. A lot of people are struggling getting into iBlog show. It's no longer happening. Now, as you know, I'm the originator of the basic income plan in America when we introduced the Baseline Plus plan in 2012 in our book, Hybrid Capitalism, in which we talk about getting people a basic income. So, well, I'm glad you're able to get in. That's good. Thank you, Guest 775. Basic income could be $500 a month, or it could be $1111, depending on who wins the Democratic nomination. Right now, if Elizabeth Warren and her basic income plan wins, then I'll be up again to $1111, which will beat her. But I'm right now looking at $500 a month. That's how much our government can spend without bankrupting the national budget. I estimate a total cost of about $700 billion max. But the good thing about the basic income, we'll be able to phase out welfare and food stamps for illegals, which Donald Trump is giving right now to illegal aliens, which is still an incentive for illegals to come into this country right now. So, no, the basic income, generally most crackheads won't even get down to their Department of Health to qualify. Anybody, all they have to do is present proof of birth certificate, and we'll route that through along with a contact number and maybe a person who can vouch for them. No, the color's not off. I'm using a different light right now, which is a full spectrum light. Hey, European heat wave shatters June records in 6 nations. And France set an all-time new record of 118 degrees in France. Wow. European heat wave is shattering Europe. Let's take a quick peek at this story. It's bad. Yeah, Meow TV said it was 118 the other day in Paris. 6 nations. France set a new all-time record. Current temperatures are lower now, but the major heat wave continues over Western Europe. Yeah. Oh, those numbers are centigrade. Oh my gosh. Yeah, pardon me, but it's still happening. I thought that was Fahrenheit. An area of high pressure in the upper atmosphere is responsible for the extreme heat. Exactly. That's exactly what happens when the magnetosphere is messed with heavy metals. 114 degrees was recorded as an all-time high in France on Friday. So, wow. Apparently, Meow TV was wrong when he said 118 the other day. 114 today is just absolutely horrific. If you're calling this global climate change, you're right. It is. The problem is you're not willing to accept the theory that chemtrails are the cause of this. Oh yeah, that's the real issue we have to look at. Sure. I wanted to work on my abs anyway, so this is good. This is called isometric exercise. Nothing? Okay. Oh. All right. I'm going to go look for my chemtrail video because I haven't queued it up yet for the show, but it's right in my hard drive and I just have to bring it up. The ultimate chemtrail video. Chemtrails. So these chemtrails, which are being dumped on our heads by a group of people that are absolutely insane, super stupid people who think that somehow chemtrails will cool down the planet. They bought this lie from David Keith, the geoengineer from Harvard, who he has no proof behind what he says, and he contradicts himself continuously. But look at this. Chemtrails over the sun. That is an image that you see if you're living in America, and that's time lapse, but if you driving around, you'll see these things in the sky and around the world. Yeah. So they are literally poisoning us. Isn't that special? That's what's causing the ionosphere to collapse and leading to massive high pressure zones across the globe. Yeah. Or low pressure zones, depending on what kind of heavy metals they're spinning in the skies. Now, why are they doing this and how do they do it? Well, the technology itself was developed by Nikola Tesla about 100 years ago and transferred to scientists who have been able to pay for all the patents that he had, put them together and begin playing God. So they dump the heavy metals in the sky, then they hit it with radio frequencies from radar, and they're able to actually triangulate those radio frequencies and get spin. And they can create tornadoes like the 500 tornadoes that we saw recently in Ohio and Indiana. And they were able to do that. And people are like, wow, climate change is really happening. It really is happening because they're making it happen and we're sitting around doing nothing to stop them. No, I'm not into, I don't have a wide stance if that's what you're asking me. That's a good one, yeah. See, I think the coloring is a little bit better. Although I am a little yellow in this picture, I think the coloring is better. I do suffer from have bad coloring on these nights. Let me see if I can pull the yellow down. There we go. But it's still a little, yeah, now it's a little too light. It's a fine line to walk. Yeah, getting the right color is difficult. It's not something that comes naturally with this equipment. And I'm not in a lighting studio, I'm in actually a hotel right now. Okay, so let's get back to the business at hand. Solving the country's problems. One thought at a time. No, I don't go to motels, I go to hotels. No, in fact, Motel 6 doesn't even have a light that they can leave on. You know what really upsets me about a lot of motels? I'm going to throw this out there. If anyone knows people in motels and hotel businesses. But They don't actually have a nightlight in hotels or motels. They don't even give you a nightlight. I mean, wouldn't that be a great promotional item to just put a Motel 6 little nightlight in the room? And even if they steal it, they're still promoting Motel 6, you know? There's no nightlights. You never get a nightlight. It's like, how costly are nightlights? So I went looking for nightlights with custom lettering, and I came up with a couple, as in just now. Yeah. You can get your standard nightlight with the picture of baby Jesus, or maybe you and your couple, you know, look at this. You know what they want for this nightlight? Let me show it to you. Shocking. $45.95 for this nightlight with you and your husband on it from a picture. Yeah. So it's a little too pricey to make nightlights for, I guess, motels. People would steal them. Well, now I know why they don't have a nightlight business going. Yeah, they're all like $60 a piece just for a nightlight. Yeah, it's a ripoff. The custom lettering nightlight industry has really, really not been very fair. Yeah, $45 for a nightlight. You know what it costs for custom nightlights? $45. No, we don't have. We're in a nice hotel. People from all around go to this hotel. It's very popular. Yeah, America lost a great president with John F. Kennedy. The dollar store has nightlights, just put a hotel sticker on it. Well, that's a logical thought, Scissor Fight. Yeah, thank you. So Donald Trump Jr. shares and then deletes. Let's take a look at this story. View offer? No, I just want to look at the... No, I just want to read the article. New York Times is selling things now. Oh, wow, look at this. Donald Trump. Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Donald Trump Jr. shares, then deletes a tweet questioning Kamala Harris's race. Wow. Okay, Donald Jr. Oh, is this a naked picture of a beautiful woman? No, it's just a picture. Okay, wow, I know. So no, Kamala Harris lied openly in the Democratic debates yesterday when she said that she grew up she actually was bused, forced bust. And everyone says, no, she couldn't possibly have been forced bust. She grew up in an affluent home. He shared a personal tweet, another person's tweet with his millions of followers during the Democratic debate, in which he said that Kamala Harris was not black enough to be discussing the plight of black Americans. Wow. Okay, well, Donald Trump Jr. is starting to sound more like his dad with the beard, you know. Yeah, so we don't really need to listen to racism in our show. You know, that's kind of a pointless thing to talk about. I've always been in favor of integration, but it's kind of troubles me to think that people want to force bus people to integrate them. I can see busing people based on economic purposes. You know, people in lower income classes, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, have to, you know, obviously have a better chance in life, and I understand that.
That's why some people say just make all the schools equal.
Making all the schools equal would be great, but we had No Child Left Behind, which made all the schools unequal. And then we had the other programs that have been coming forth, which aren't really making the schools equal. So let's try to get more equality, but who wants to teach in some of those inner city areas where kids call you names? We saw a video the other night, a second grader turned to his teacher and he got up, he's an African American child, got up and said, "Shut the F up," to his teacher, and then you dumb effing whatever. And this is a 7-year-old, 8-year-old telling his teacher that. I mean, that's a tough school, man. I feel bad for the teacher. Can you imagine having a 7-year-old tell you that? Using the F word? Now, I've never used the F word on screen, as you know. It's rude. and it implies a lot of bad things. It's bad precedent. So Scissor Fight suggests that we get dollar store night lights and put our hotel sticker on it, and then give it back to the hotel and say, hey, why don't you put these in your room? This would be a great promotion. That's a great idea. You know, why don't you consider starting in your local area and offering a box of night lights to the group, to the local motel, saying, hey, you want to buy these and double the cost or triple the cost? See if you can get a business selling night lights to these motels, because none of them have night lights. Motel 6 would be perfect because they say we'll leave the light on for you, but it's a fluorescent, dangerous, dirty energy light. Get a little LED light that's got clean energy and put a little sticker on that motel on it. I think we got an idea that could win. You could start selling them in your area, Scissor Fight. It's a high-end area. They'd love it. Get a bug light? Really? Wow. Everything going on? Great. That's super. Well, I think we've resolved the crisis in education. Biden copied my idea of getting free education to the junior colleges. That's my idea. I came up with it 7 or 8 years ago. The 6-week to 6-month education plan, which I call a win-win for America, will get everybody a free education who want it and qualify. Double Pell Grants will be authorized. And you know what the Democrats didn't address? My big idea, which is to actually lower the cost, or actually make it possible for young people to become financially independent at the age of 21, as opposed to 25. Now that's my idea. Nobody copied it. I'm very thankful for that in the debates. But to get the qualifying age of financial independence down to 21 as opposed to 25 will really help the poor people. And people who are, say, kicked out of their family's house and have no way of funding their education until they're financially independent, they have to wait till they're 25 to go back to school. Tell me that's not a deficit. Yeah. So I think 21 is much more realistic, and that's a modification that only I came up with. Biden didn't come up with that. You would offer people, number one, free ice cream for life and free health care. No, those two things work against each other. Free ice cream will lead to diabetes and heart disease. Sugar kills, man. Yes, Beth Chapman has passed away. I'm sorry to say that we covered her story a couple nights ago, or last night. A beautiful woman, loved by her husband and son, who I guess had a commuted jail sentence for various reasons. But yeah, she had honored for her role in fighting crime, was president of the Professional Bail Agents of the United States. Wow, that's kind of cool. The president of the Professional Bail Agents of the United States. She has passed away. Dog's wife, Beth. Yeah. Now people say I look a lot like Dog, the bounty hunter, and I don't know. He's white, I'm white, that's about it, I don't know if I look anything other than that. It's like, no. She was a beautiful woman. And Dog, he's kind of a rough character. I told everybody that I'd take him out. I'd take the doctor out. He was so pissed at the doctor for not saving his wife's life. It was terrible. He's angry at the doctors. I don't blame him, man. Doug, you and I could hang and talk about bounty hunting, I guess, whatever. I do look a lot like him. It's kind of amazing. All right. Thank you, and thanks for sharing. Everything good?
Oh, have you seen the things for the filter? They have green notes on them. The microwave dishes with the green notes.
No, I haven't. Yes, I think you put them in another container. in the other room. I think you downsized them into one of those bags in that other room out there.
Okay.
Do you need them right now?
No, I just don't remember.
I saw you pulling them out to make room for other stuff.
Okay, maybe.
And you put them in a black bag. It's outside. Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm sorry to hear about her loss. And she was a young woman of only 51, but she smoked cigarettes. And let that be a lesson to all of you. I'm in a hotel, Frog Dog. Were you a Navy SEAL? No, I wasn't. Dead or Alive posting irrelevant links. No, I'm not tired, man. It's the lighting. Yeah, I actually look pretty good, I think. And the more I look at the picture, it's like, wow. Yeah, I don't think I could look better. We're dealing with a little green screen archiving going on in the background. Partly due to the fact that I should just get this up a little bit here. Let me drink the rest of this coffee here. That might remedy it. Hey, it did. Look at that. The final tweak on this color camera. Is this better, Jim? Thanks. Well, let's be clear. The president of the press addressed before the American newspaper published. Oh, you're reading from the Waldorf Astoria? Is that in honor of Sarah's Waldorf salad she read? She actually created? The streams are cutting out because one of our shows is running at 300 GPS or kbytes per second, and another one is running at 600. Let me make a slight modification and see if this improves. Now, as much as we are able to read my lips, 400. Let's try 400. Try this. Any better? Better? We're bouncing our signal off of a VPN in Singapore in order to maintain the anonymity of the show. Yeah, it's the only way we can do it. It's the only way we can pull it off. Otherwise, we can't do the show. Good. I dropped it to 400 kbytes per second. And iBlog's at 300. So we got iBlog rolling out at 300, which is good for me. So you got a cooler day today? That's good to hear. Oh, here you go. This is a classic from Scissor Fight. The original search engine. It has a VW bug like the one I had. Roaming the country. That is so funny. Whoops. That's chat. Well, let's be clear. Yeah, that didn't work. I hope I look better now. I made a few improvements. Thank you. In freeze mode. We are broadcasting a signal from a system that is running at 10 megabytes per second upload. And that goes through a VPN, which then gives us the ability to actually broadcast other things. Okay, here it is. The original search engine, everybody. Look at that. You don't have to go online. You can just get in your VW bug and hit the road. Hit the road, Jack. Okay. Sammy Davis is using UHF, and he wonders what the thingy is. What thingy are you talking about? Do I appear jaundiced? Hey, I've been working on the coloring all night long. This is the best we can do due to the fact that we are dealing with limited lighting. I'm trying to take the yellow out of the screen. That's the best I can do, guys. Sorry. That's all I got. Thank you. So let's talk about the Trumpster. We've got very little to really say positive about him, other than the fact that he is still handling a lot of stress. With multiple fish sandwiches and Diet Cokes, he's able to somehow cope, which is great. Thanks, Sammy. I wonder if he's getting kickbacks from, thank you for that link. I wonder if Donald Trump's getting kickbacks from the Saudi Arabian prince, MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. I wonder if he's getting kickbacks for those nuclear weapons. Well, I'll get you some nuclear weapons if you put a couple billion in my account. You know? You gotta wonder. Trump is meeting with Xi Jinping, but the question is, will he release Meng? I say, Donald, if you're listening, release Meng. Yes. Hey there, Zellfire. Wait, they don't put a lot of padding on these chairs, do they?
Yeah, do you want to switch?
No, I kind of like this
I
chair.
can lift it up and-
There's no way I can get that over here. Plus, the arm is no. There's no way I could fit it in here. But thank you, though. I'm just glad I got.
It sinks down.
No, I know it's not worth it. Frankly, I don't need arms. I'm good. That's a nice chair. These hotels are amazing.
I was using it.
I mean, that would no, it's not needed. Good.
I was going to suggest it earlier.
Oh,
It's
no.
not too fun sitting in it.
I want you to sit in it. I actually would recommend you sitting in it. Use that chair, Sarah. You know, it's worth quite a bit of money just sitting here. You know, on the second, we've got a timer here that says how much money we're spending per minute, and yes, so far it's like $12.95 a minute to stay here. Can you imagine how expensive it would cost to live? Please get a comb. I don't need a comb. My hair is in great shape, man. You'd be lucky to have hair like this. Gosh. Wow. True Blues, looking at my hair now. You see? Got a great natural pose there from the Davester. Now, according to the expert at the Border Patrol, the guys that killed themselves 300 miles apart at nearly the same time, they were all suicides. Yeah, according to this expert. Border soldiers' deaths for suicides, according to the medical examiner. I don't believe this. This is serious. When 2 border agents kill themselves and we've got a border crisis going on, a medical examiner says 2 soldiers helping secure the Mexican border in Arizona died by suicide. Self-inflicted gunshot wounds. I don't believe it. Well, according to military officials, the circumstances of the deaths are under investigation. You think? Yeah, we're looking at serious corruption. When a guy says, hey, don't treat those illegal aliens like that, and the commanding officer says, shut up, you're next. What, are you going to take me out? Yeah, and then they put a bullet in their head, and all the other Border Patrol agents go, we better not say anything about what we're doing to these illegal aliens, or we could all have a bullet in our head. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, I'm just calling a spade a spade. Trump and Putin shared joke about election meddling, sparkling new furor. Good. Thank you, Sister Fight. This is story after story about Trump and his behavior. Oh, he's in a realm all his own. I mean, Trump literally invited Russians diplomats to meet with him privately the day he fired James Comey, which is absurd.
That was a good book.
Yeah, Sarah read James Comey's book. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I can't even get New York Times ads now because they want to charge. So I'm just take your word for it that Trump and Putin. If we have another link on that story, that'd be great because they're trying to charge me $1 to look at that news clip. Can you believe that? Trump was in your local politics last week in South Carolina. Wow. Oh, sorry, I put my hand over the mic. That was me touching the mic. Okay, time for fruit spray.
So do you want me to give you a break?
No, you know, I can talk incessantly for about 3 hours without even thinking it.
Do you want me to give you a break?
Do you need anything outside?
Couple things.
Okay, go ahead and tell me, and I'll mute the mic here. Okay, Sarah is going to talk to you guys, and you can test out the. Yeah, you can test out the camera on her. Yes, I look a little jaundiced and pale, but that's the best we can do with this natural lighting until we get a better setup. Okay? We can't do this show without, a certain amount of stumbling blocks. But to deliver a show every night on our trip, that's pretty impressive, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Yes, Dave, that's impressive.
Yes, David, that's impressive.
Not you, I mean the audience. I'm expecting responses here.
I know.
Yes, Dave, that's impressive. And you got our article. Okay, here we go. The Wall Street Journal has the same story. Here's the fury that's happening. Well, the Utah man killed the missing El Segundo college student and burned her body. I'll get to that later. Let me take a quick look at this. Just taking a quick look at the story. Thank you, Scissorfied, for getting that second link. Here is the story. Trump, with a grin, tells Putin, don't meddle in the election. It's like a tongue-in-cheek thing now. It's like their secret little joke. Two leaders discuss Syrian arms control. Critics of U.S. president say he's giving Putin a green light to interfere in 2020 election. Yeah, in a way, he is kind of saying, let's make a joke about this. Okay, I'll get back to that in just a second, or just a few minutes. Here's Sarah.
No, I can see the seat trying to come back after sitting in it. We could switch it out with that chair.
No,
maybe.
that's okay. We're good.
It might be less.
Either chair is probably the same.
Or, we could bring that chair over. I could hand it to you over
I don't
the
think
bed.
it could even fit in there. It's not enough.
That's true.
That's too much room.
Not enough room. All right, I'm looking at myself. I'm going to go on here and look at the video chat so I can see people responding.
Yeah,
And go here and look at this iVlog chat.
There you go.
Hi, Ivan. Wait, who's Ivan? My name's Sarah, not Ivan. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay. Some kind of picture. Here's Dave. Wait, what? I know your name's Salty. Hello, Zellfire. Should you learn Common Core? Well, you should know about it. You can learn more at commoncore.org or commoncorestandards.org. Will tell you everything you need to know about Common Core. You should definitely, if you have a child, you should understand that. If you are a teacher, you should definitely understand it if your state has adopted that. Some states haven't, but most have. Khan Academy is fantastic, and they have lessons that are aligned with Common Core state standards. So, yeah. Ticken asks, can we talk about alternatives to traditional educational methods? Yes, we can. I think that's fantastic to have alternatives to traditional educational methods. You never retained the math you learned, so you're willing to start over. I would suggest working through the Khan Academy ones. That would be good. Start with early math and you can just work through all the way up. I think a blumpkin has to do with some kiss on the nose. I don't know what it is. I think that is, but maybe I'm wrong. No, I don't think that's it. Corporal punishment is not legal in my state for teachers, which I think is good. Not knowing math is holding you back from learning to renovate your home. I know math does come in handy, all those angles and everything. That's really good. I've I remember listening to people that were doing some renovations, and they're like, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, so we need this much roofing or something like that. Oh, that's awful. Was I thinking of a raspberry? Maybe I was thinking what a raspberry is. Those are like, anyway. I know, I have a good funky look. That's funky. That's bizarre. That's my look. Alright, anyway. You wouldn't want to do any shingling this summer? I would love to have some shingles. Not the disease, but roofing done. That would be great. I have felt that. Yes, at points in my life, I have felt that. I don't feel that now. So maybe it just comes in waves. Because I didn't forward the number, Saffron, I didn't forward the number. So no one's going to answer that. I was supposed to work on that, but we're on vacation and I didn't want to bother. I figured I'd research how to do it when I get to my friend's house where I'll be spending a lot of the summer. Not at this particular hotel. I haven't tested out the pool, but I did test out a pool a couple nights ago, and David and I went in the hot tub. We went swimming, did a few laps, and then I also, after I did a few laps in the pool, then we went in the hot tub, and it was just the two of us, and it was really nice, and I really like my new swimsuit. This year I switched to a one-piece suit, and all the way up until this year I was a bikini person. But now that I turned 41, I'm like, I need a one-piece, but I like how this particular one-piece looks on me, so that's very good. About the one piece. Alright. Not in this particular hotel room, but a few nights ago I have, no, just kidding. Okay, I wish you good luck on renovating your home, Frog Dog. It's so cool to measure what you need, and measure twice, cut once. That's one of the sayings. I am getting tired, but ironically, it's not that late. Or is it? Maybe I'm adjusting. Only 8 o'clock, almost 8 o'clock from the land where I come from Washington State, but I don't know if it's earlier. Well, it's not earlier because I'm not going to leave the contiguous United States. Is it really? Only 7? Is that right? 7:50 someone? Am I going to see the Rolling Stones in Seattle for their final performance? When is that? What date? Probably not. Okay. August 14th? No, I don't think so. I could fly into Seattle for the performance. I could. Well, I don't really fly. You made 200 a day playing Habbo Hotel. Wow. That's good. Playing Sammy Davis's songs. Are you like a impersonator or something like that? What kind of renovations are you looking to do, Frog Dog? Are you looking to paint, or start with flooring, or do a bathroom or a kitchen? What kind of renovations are you going to do to your house? Well, no towels, but soaps. There's so much plastic packaging in the hotel rooms I'm staying in. There's so much plastic packaging. And so I'm like, I took a couple soaps so that, because they were in plastic packaging, and I said, because they always put out new plastic packaged soaps. So I said, I'm going to take this to the next hotel room, and then don't open the soaps at the next place. And then one thing, I didn't do it yesterday, but I think I'm going to pull it out and start tomorrow, or do it. I've done it once or twice. Is I take my own silverware to the breakfast, because all the plastic in the silverware they have plastic silverware at the breakfast. I will always check in case you've been there. I have. Yeah, so much waste. That's one thing I was thinking of telling the hotel chains. Like, I like some of them offer coffee in the rooms, and they have these paper coffee cups, but then they have these plastic cups, and then the plastic cups, and sometimes the coffee cups, are wrapped in plastic. And if they just had paper cups that were new and not wrapped in plastic, it would just be so much more environmentally friendly. Or if they insist on having them wrapped, they could wrap them in paper. Yeah, I avoid all the beers. Well, and it's not only beer in the fridge, they have like the little tiny cute water bottles that they also charge you like $5 or $10 for the water bottles. Thanks, so no, that was a lot.
I'm going to come back to the show
Anyway.
next bit. Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, I just don't look at in the fridge at all. I don't do that. Yeah, except I forgot all my quarters. That would have been fun. I'm just kidding. No, it's not. This hotel doesn't have one of those I have. I just like to feed the trolls sometimes, It's pretty fun to feed you guys. Hello, Big Outlaw. Life is good. It's pretty fun here where I'm at. I'm so loving my job. I'm so loving that I have a vacation time, and I have one of those few jobs where I can take a break for a while and enjoy it. And David's fortunate. I'm fortunate that David gets to join me on my vacation. They could force everyone to bring their own cups. That's true. They have disintegrated towels. When you steal them, they disintegrate at home. That would be good. Bring your own plates and napkins. Did I tell you guys about the restaurant in the San Juans that if someone asks for cutlery to go, they give them like they're like, I just need some like disposable cutlery or something like that. Well, anyway, they give them metalware instead. And then people are like, no, I just need something like to go. They're like, that's okay, keep it. You can keep it, or if you're still here, return it. It's fine. And then maybe you can bring it next time you go to a restaurant or next time you go out to eat and you need silverware. You just keep it in your purse, which is really good. Yes, thanks, Big Outlaw. I'm happy for me too. And I am having the time of my life. Yeah, until next year until next year. I should do it, go all the way, bring my own cloth napkins. I'm not a big napkin user. A long time ago, I started moving away from napkins because every time I use a napkin, I think of the tree that was cut down to make that napkin. That's pretty interesting. So I don't usually bring my own napkins. Oh, that's pretty funny. Do you bring I didn't know they make them portable bidet? Do I scan the room for hidden cameras? No, I'm like, if you really want to videotape me, obviously I'm on video every night with David. What did I do to my hair? I put it in a ponytail. That's a great idea, Zelfire. Do you know how many single teachers there are out there that would love to date in the summer? A lot. How many people would like to date a teacher? Probably a lot. And it shouldn't just be like teachers only, because teachers don't only have to date other teachers. It should be like discounts for teachers. That's true. Some do. It all depends on the state. And if the state values teachers, actually it sometimes depends on the actual school district, and if the school district values their teachers, how much teachers make. That's what's sad, is like when they were talking about busing kids to different schools, it's because some schools spend a lot on their teachers and some schools don't, and then the teachers that are good end up going to the good schools. And anyway, we don't fly, but we drove first class. You keep posting links. Should I get rid of this Dead or Alive person?
Yes, he's Politics for Dummies. He keeps sending links about England, and he uses our chat room to do it. And there always some stupid, violent image of some people in England. It's terrible. I'm going to make another cup of coffee. Right.
Okay. You haven't tuned in. I think my worms are going to be okay, and my garden's going to be okay for the summer. I've left it for the summer. But what's so nice is I have an irrigation system. So at least the worm bed, not the worm beds, the garden beds are getting water every day, and I'm sure the garden's growing really well. But the worm beds still need to be watered. And those will be, I have some volunteers that are going to come in and water the worm beds. Yeah. Yes, we do have that as well. I have. We looked up on YouTube the other day the world's longest worm. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah? I think you're just trolling me. I have. Alright. I'm just deciding not to click on your links. earthworms with their hands are so creepy looking? Hands. Hands? Oh, the worms keep growing depending on the nutrition of the soil. They stick around the best soil, so I might end up with some giant worms. Wow. That's what you, oh, well, that's not right. I can see Kamala trying that, but that's not who David is. And even if she tried that, I think it would just bring more attention to David. And then David can explain who he is.
Yeah, I just need more opportunity to get in the press, because I've only had no time whatsoever. It's like if I got maybe a second and I had just said help, that's all I need to do. Help. Just help.
Not help is on the way, but
Just help. Not help is on the way, John Kerry.
but
No, but this is, I just want to say help, just help me, please.
help me, 'cause
Help
I
me, help
didn't,
me.
you know.
1 second.
I have that Beatles song stuck in my head. Anyway. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I agree with you.
Help me, somebody. Help.
Yeah, help. That was a good show.
Is there milk in here? Sorry.
There's milk in there.
Oh, good.
In here.
I mean, little creamers.
In here on the top
Oh,
shelf
perfect.
right here.
Even better. I've seen one creamer for my coffee.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love these refrigerators and
Okay.
microwaves they have.
Yeah. It's pretty
I'm
cool.
almost ready. I'll be here shortly.
All right, David will be here shortly. Oops, I missed what Big Outlaw was saying, I think. I thought that was just David. Oh, ask David if you would like to, if we would, you're daring us to hike to the top of Angel's Landing in Utah. They're giving us a picture of that. Angel's Landing is the scariest hike in America. It has a steep drop-off at Zion National Park.
Yeah, there's a Utah hiker. I was going to look at that. That's kind of next.
Okay, David says he'll look at it in a minute.
I'll be there in just a second.
Yeah, he likes a little bit of
I just
milk
have to
in
do
his
some
coffee.
exercises on the bed here. I'm doing some leg lifts.
I know, it's true, Saffron.
It's awesome. I love the trapeze work we have to do to get in and out of the show here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's amazing. Okay, is that it for you tonight?
I think so. I've done my.
Sarah's in and out. Okay, thank you, Sarah.
I think it's.
Yeah.
8. I came in a little bit.
No, that's great. No, you don't have to give me any more breaks. I'm good.
10.
I got my fruit enzyme spray and my coffee, and I'm all set. Good. Well, we're up and running, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, so this is a nightly affair we have here, and I appreciate your time to share the problems of the country with you every night and integrate my ideas with yours. I can tell you that coffee and I are born together. My grandfather was a plantation manager down in Bolivia and Ecuador, and he managed the plantations. In fact, I believe they named a coffee bean after him, the pea berry, which is an actual Colombian coffee bean. Outstanding. Yep, if you probably purchased it at Trader Joe's or Aldo's, one of those locations. Yeah, I mean, we've seen the story about Beth Chapman dying and she smoked cigarettes, and that story doesn't really go very far. I mean, there's not much to talk about. Whereas the Pizzagate story, we could talk about pedophiles in Washington and Hollywood being protected by a cabal at the FBI. That would be more interesting. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are pretty messed up in this world. Maybe more color. Oops, less color. That's actually better. Maybe that's a slight, you know. Is that less yellow? Okay. That's more red. My grandfather spoke fluent Spanish. I did not acquire that through the hormones. Is this too red, or am I yellow now? I'm trying to adjust the coloring. Never run out of toilet paper. Okay.
Introducing the Aquarius Water Bidet, a revolution in simplicity and portability. A bidet offers dramatic cleanliness and hygiene benefits. Weighing less than 2 kilograms, the water bidet is a clever, low-cost solution to ensure a bidet is available in every toilet facility.
Unlike a plumbed bidet, the Aquarius can be fitted in seconds by anyone, without the need for a tradesman. First, connect the douche arm. Lift the lid and seat of the toilet, and slide the short pipe through the seat fixing posts. Soft suction cups hold the arm in place. Second,
I like this.
connect the box and douche arm using the larger pipe. Finally, connect the control button, which can be operated by hands or feet, using the jack socket under the box. When you wish to use the Aquarius Porta Bidet, add a litre of water at your preferred temperature into the box using the filler jug.
Well, my preferred temperature would be warm, okay? In my Porta Bidet. Yes, I would love a Porta Bidet. Can you believe that actually exists? That's amazing, isn't it? I never would have found out about the Porta Bidet if it hadn't been shown to me. Thank you for that link. Yeah. Thank you, Saffron Rice. I don't run it through again. I just had a little extra. I add, because I'm such a big coffee drinker, I have to keep drinking constantly. One after the other. I love the taste of these cups too. They're really, the cardboard just really gives me something of a sense that I'm in a dumpster eating out of a cardboard coffee cup. That's okay. I miss my ceramic coffee cup that I have. All right. Please don't keep posting these stories about Beth Chapman. Thank you. It's sad enough that she died, but to see her link posted all the time in our room, it's memories of Beth Chapman, link in my room. Makes me want to sing a song. Memories stretched across my shelf. Okay, let me see if I've got a problem with one of my links here. There it is. I have people. Oh, we're in a it's a club environment. There are a lot of people in the room. People are in and out. It's not like a nudist colony or anything. You kind of look like an albino Danny Glover tonight. Okay, I'm going to reset my colors. Hang on. Reset. How's that? More jaundice? If we could perfect the color tonight, that would be great. If I go without the auto white balance, what does this do? It actually improved me a little bit. Or did it? I think maybe white balance is too much on this. I'm trying to fine-tune this particular device I have. Well, is that better? Do I look better? I still have kind of a beacon of light hitting me here. I'm adjusting down with my compressing the cup. There we go. David looks better in orange than Trump. Thank you. You know, I think, you know, the blackface thing lasted all of, what, 8 years? And since I got enough press from that, I really think, you know, world press is still migrant. We're still getting a lot of people talk about me because of that, so that's good. We're getting a lot of mileage out of the blackface. I probably have gotten about 10 years of, 9 years going on 10 years of international fame. I heard Kamala Harris is not black enough, according to, you know, Donald Trump Jr., and then he pulled the tweet. He actually retweeted a friend of his. Well, I have the hair to go with my being a celebrity. Yeah, I noticed that I put a comb through my head today, and I noticed that some hairs were coming out, and it was a really big bummer. You know, it's like, why am I? Well, I realized I forgot my multivitamin. So I took a multivitamin, a few drops of CBD oil, and I feel better. I just need to eat an avocado, and I'll be much better. You know, there are people of different colors in our country, and I don't think it's important to really base a person's view of somebody based on the color of their skin or how orange my tint is here. I think you have to stop judging people based on the tinting of their orange in their skin. David, you'll wake up one day and all your hair will be on your pillow? Well, that's the problem. I know, you probably had that problem last night. I didn't slack on Trump. I can't do a Trump impersonation without vomiting. I'm going to make sure that Russia, if you're listening, and I start to projectile vomit. No, CBD oil has no highness in it. I give it to my cat, and sometimes I'll take a few drops myself. It's excellent. You can rub it on your face. CBD oil all over your face. It's very popular because it does help. My cat has Parkinson's and arthritis, and she's able to, you know, get around like she was a spring chicken, even though she's 16 years old. Yeah. It'll help you with your sleep pattern. I noticed that. If you apply it directly to your mouth. They say not to overdo CBD oil. The recent study they're saying that it might affect the liver. Yeah, I don't know. It probably helps the liver. I wouldn't doubt that Jimmy Carter was taking CBD oil when he conquered liver cancer. Hey, remember I told you not to post anymore? I meant it, buddy. So you've been muted. Rolling Stone doesn't care about a white guy impersonating a white guy. There's no joke to that. Yeah, just. Anyway, Trump, we all know Trump is a New World Order puppet, except for all the Republicans who support him. And they think he's just the best guy since sliced bread. They actually believe that Donald Trump is stopping the New World Order. Can you believe how this show started evolving? Yeah. Well, we started out at 6 to 8 p.m. And then we started extending to 6 to 9. This is how it happened because we wanted a little bit more flexibility. We didn't feel like 2 hours would cover the show. So we did the 6 to 9 show for, 3 years? And now we're back doing the 6 to 9 show, Pacific time, which I think is cool. And people like the 6 to 9, that actually works, you know. Like most breakfast bars in America are at 6 to 9 in the morning. Yes, I did. In fact, I was going to feature that story right now. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, apparently a Utah man has killed missing El Segundo college student and burned her body, police say. The Utah man is a Nigerian. Right. Ayola Ajayi, 31, was arrested in Salt Lake City on Friday on suspicion of killing a University of Utah student, Mackenzie Lubeck, 23-year-old from El Segundo, California. This is so sad. A Salt Lake City man was arrested Friday, suspicion. Lurik's disappearance gained national attention after authorities began looking for her more than a week ago. And Salt Lake City Police Chief Mike Brown announced Friday that the search had come to a sinister end. Ayoli Ajayi, 31, was being booked into jail on suspicion of aggravated murder, kidnapping, obstruction of justice, and desecration of a body after a SWAT team took him into custody Friday morning. Wow. I will not be saying the killer's name again, he said. Huh. I don't know what that means. The arrest comes 2 days after investigators served a search warrant at a home in a Rose Park neighborhood of Salt Lake City and seized evidence that related to Luick's disappearance. While authorities did not specify what evidence was found, detectives booked 27 boxes of assault rifle ammunition and a pitchfork into evidence, along with bags of other items. He was a person of interest, according to Police Chief Brown. Records show that the last person Luick communicated with her cell phone was Ajaya, although the man denied having any contact with her in an interview with detectives. He told authorities he didn't know what Luick looked like and hadn't seen photos of her online, despite having at least one photo of her in his possession. So very, very suspicious behavior by Luick. By the perpetrator, Ajayi. Luick, a pre-nursing student studying kinesiology, went missing June 17th after arriving at the Salt Lake City airport following her grandmother's funeral in Los Angeles. Wow. After leaving the airport, she took a lift to the park in North Salt Lake where she met with Ajayi, authorities say. It wasn't immediately known when or how Luick was killed. Police did not provide a possible motive for the slaying. But neighbors told authorities they saw him burning something using gasoline in his backyard. On June 17th and June 18th, when authorities searched his home, they found a freshly dug area along with human tissue belonging to a woman. And some of Luick's personal items had been charred. Oh yeah, this guy's guilty. I don't even know what she looked like, but... What do you need? I'm going to do it. Okay, you want to take over the show? I'll go. Yeah. Sarah's going to take over the show for one more time.
And that can go back out there.
Okay, great. Perfect. I'll be right back. All right.
I think so.
Yeah, Sarah's going to take over the show right now. I'll be right back.
I got everything. Maybe I did it on purpose, but anyway, I think that's good. Anyway, hello. Okay. That's very sad about people killing other people is sad. Very sad. No, I did not break the coffee maker. Oh, Zion National Park in Utah. Angel's Landing is the scariest hike in America. It has a steep drop-off. Actually, there's a steep drop-off near us, too, and it drops, like, right into the ocean. That's a pretty crazy thing. Oh, she met somebody at 3 a.m.? Alright. The election is it Utah? Okay. Where does it talk about 3 a.m.? It That wasn't in the article David was reading. My audio went low. I was talking to David. That's probably why my audio went low. Wait, is my audio... I wonder if I muted myself. No, I did not mute myself. I'm just talking low. Neighbor, person of interest. Just so many women frequent his home. That's weird. He says many women frequent his home. That's weird. Many women frequent my home. Wow. There's so many women coming in and out at all hours of the night. Wow. Oh, he has an Airbnb. Oh. She was last seen meeting an unknown individual around 3 a.m. on June 17th at a park in Salt Lake City after being dropped off by a Lyft driver. She hailed the ride after flying in from Los Angeles, where she had attended her grandmother's funeral, and has not been seen or heard from since. The Lyft driver has been cleared in the case, and they told them Lewick did not seem distressed on her way to the park. There's activity on her Instagram account on Wednesday at about noon. Her account followed a new account. They turned that over to the police. Okay. All right, you're right. That is odd that she would meet someone at 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. Don't go to a park to meet anyone at 3 a.m. Even if they're not a stranger. Just don't do it. It's just weird. Yes, gotta be suspicious of everything at that hour. I agree. All right. I don't think she was going there for that. I mean, that's something a guy would do, I would think, hey, Spade. Going to meet someone for some lascivious purpose or whatever that purpose is, but I don't think that's something... I don't know. That sounds like something a guy would do. But it is strange that her Lyft driver, she just flew in from Los Angeles and she decides to go to a park. Like, not a hotel. Maybe it was like meeting an Airbnb person. That's true, because they said the person of interest ran an Airbnb. Would I have an Airbnb at my house? I have thought about it, but probably not. The thing about an Airbnb that is kind of like, it's better than the idea of renting out a home, but I'm just gonna not use L5. Okay. Neat. That way you can have that. I was folding up a piece of paper. That's all I was doing. Oh, let me go talk to David. I just realized what I did. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to play a video. I've got to find a video. I'm so idiotic. Let's see. Time lapse, chemtrails. Let's play this for you. Yes, there's lots of chemtrails there. Okay, watch that for a moment.
Okay, we're back up and running. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We've got 30 minutes to wrap up the show. And as you know, we are extremely concerned about chemtrails, more and more, and the 5G network. In case you didn't know, thank you. We had a little travel crisis, but we're good now. Yeah. Yeah. We were having problems with one of the utilities in our travel pod was giving us some problems. I did fix a Keurig. I had a. You're laughing at my hairdo? Well, I'm sorry. I had to get out and do some work. Yeah, it was kind of difficult. I had to get into some tough places and.
Does this affect you if I turn this light off?
No, not at all. I've got my miracle light here, which is giving me perfect lighting.
You want this?
Yeah, that can turn off that. I've got miracle lighting over here. See, it doesn't even affect me. You can turn everything off around me, and I'd be fine. Anyway.
Good miracle lighting?
It is. It's miracle lighting. It's like a grow light. The Keurig had a serious case of calcification, and I managed to buy a second Keurig at a thrift store for $12.99, and it was the first model they made. And then I had my other one. I said, I'm going to give it a try, and I took the vinegar that I had in the cupboard and just put it right straight in the water container and let it set for about an hour, and then I ran it through. And I ran it through a second, and sure enough, it worked. So it's just calcification that really messes up those Keurigs. I have 2 or 3 different ways of making coffee when I travel. I travel with a cold press, which is basically cold coffee, cold brew they call it, and I'm able to put cold brew pods, which I buy individually, in a 8 to 12 ounce container of water and let it sit there for a day, and then I've got my coffee. Another option is to get coffee at the front desk, which you never know what you're going to get, which is your backup. And the third option, of course, is Starbucks, and an expensive cup is usually $4 now. Any other questions about coffee? And we go on to the next subject. Sunstar says, David, do you travel with a mini coffee maker? Oh yes, I do. I just answered that. I don't like Coattail coffee, especially the stuff I got recently. Sure, yeah, we have an integrated on-the-fly chat capability, even though we're working from a remote location all the time. How many people are able to pull off this ability? What's going on tap, everybody? Here we go. Now, I'm not related to this guy at all. He's not my son. Some people have been saying, David, is he your son? No, he's not my son. Here he is, everybody. A young man who's made a lot of money by being really, really dumb online.
Hey, do you ever wonder, what is going on? I mean, do you ever, wake up or do something and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I've felt that way many times, especially when I've got a garden light, a grow light in front of my face. You got an idea you have to patent? The Coffee Maker Suitcase. I won't steal your idea, but I did just get coffeemakersuitcase.com and .org. It cost me $24.99, but I've secured those domains for you. Oh, please. Not again. I mean, how many times do we have to talk about Beth Chapman dying? I'm sorry she died, but you've been muted again. Jeez, dude. What's wrong with you? This guy, I'm telling you. Joe Biden had 3 aneurysms and brain surgery during his time as, right before his time as VP and during his time as VP. So, yeah, he's got some things, some issues going on that I can't even explain. Angel's Landing, the scariest hike in America. Zion National Park. I'd play that for you, but I don't want to I'm an anti-Zionist, so by playing the Zion National Park Scariest Landing at the end of our show, that's all I can do, okay? The least I can do. Well, bless you. We've got a little while to talk about some things. We wrap up, 3 hours is more than enough time to cover the news. If you have any questions about what's happening in the news, other than the fact that the Democrats have no power, and nobody in the Democrats can speak their mind because they're all so frightened of each other, and of what would happen if they actually did talk about the truth, or maybe none of them know about the truth. But either way, the Democrats and Donald Trump have one thing in common. They're both in the dark. Yeah. They share that commonality, the two parties do. And I've been trying to get everyone to understand the simple idea that they're trying to drive us apart by putting us in either the Democratic or the Republican Party. The old divide and conquer thing is what's happening in America. The powers that be really want to keep us separated, just like you would separate animals heading to the slaughterhouse. I do travel first class, so I always have a coffee maker in my room. But they're starting to lower the quality of their coffee that they put in the coffee makers. Yeah. I've noticed it's kind of like a Folgers taste to it. And being I'm a connoisseur of coffee, it's the only thing I can really do that's free in America now, is drink coffee freely at the front desk when I get a cup. So, yeah, let's talk about, well, for one, you get frisks when you go to the airport. They run their hands all over your body, so it is better to travel by car, despite what people say. One of the reasons why I don't travel by plane is because they grab your body parts, and this is a fact. I'm not making this up. I've got photographs to prove what they do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not... It's just not readily handy. I fit a photograph of... I've got to get more photographs of this show. I know I need some serious help in that direction, but hey, I'm doing the best. You've got memes. You guys have been doing things. I want to show this one. This is what you get when you go to China. Yeah. So many of you are not traveling to China anymore. I know. Yeah, Iraq is a hotbed. I'm going to show you a few pictures in the next half hour just for fun, because I like to look through my picture libraries. Yeah, Iraq is messed up. It was when we attacked it, and I said we never should have ratified that war. It was a big mistake. The Democrats are to blame for that too. I told them all. I said you should never have ratified that war. We've been concerned about the fact that Trump is behaving like a Nazi at the border, and I actually agree with Ocasio-Cortez on the fact that he's got concentration camps down there. That much is for sure. Part of all the preparation for this came around in 2015. Many of you probably remember the Jade Helm operation, in which some Walmarts were converted to detention centers, like Casa Padre, a place where they stick kids now to suffer. This was part of the Jade Helm operation, was to create Casa Padre. So you're seeing a big picture here. As you see the immigrants starting to move into military facilities now, you're beginning to think that, oh wow, this is weird. What are they doing now? Well, the New World Order is at play, actually. They're trying to install their plan. You see, they're going to send all of the illegal aliens in there first and make sure they can understand how to handle human bodies rather quickly, and they're treating them like dogs and animals right now. I'm not making this up. I agree with Ocasio on this, for real. I do. So they're getting ready to then proceed to move toward the next stage, which is making sure that they have the ability to take in anybody, especially people that don't receive inoculations, don't want to get RFID chipped, These are all theories that have been mulling around the internet for about 20 years now, but they're still sounding more and more real. Yeah. And some people are freaking out. They want to send you to a FEMA camp? Yeah. It's like, wow, that's weird. Yeah. Don't freak me out, buddy. But yeah, they do. They want to send you to a FEMA camp. In the end, they want to depopulate this country. So if you want to let them, then by all means, continue voting Democrat and Republican in the upcoming election like you did with Trump. A lot of you turned on me even though Trump stole my ideas. Yeah, I know that. You turned on me like you think Trump was going to steal my ideas and somehow be good at implementing them. Big mistake. Big mistake, that's right. Yeah. Trump doesn't care about you or my ideas. He just used them to get elected. Yeah, you got fooled yet again. I hate to say it, but you Democrats and Trump tards are really, you're going to have to wake up. The border is an extremely poignant issue. The reason why the New World Order wants an open border is because they can weaken our nation. And Trump isn't blocking that border. He hasn't put a fence up. Look at Steve Bannon. He put a 1 mile fence up in 1 week. Trump can't even do that. Well, listen to the great words of Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. What a great guy he was. I know. Let me just show you what he said, and I'll read it for you. Here we go. I'm quoting. The first consideration in immigration is the welfare of the receiving nation. In a new government, based on principles unfamiliar to the rest of the world and resting on the sentiments of the people themselves, the influx of a large number of new immigrants unaccustomed to the government of a free society could be detrimental to that society. Immigration, therefore, must be approached carefully and cautiously. And let this be a reminder to all the Democrats and Trump-tards who have avoided listening to my words of wisdom and securing the border. It is your fault we are now in this situation. That's right. All right, thank you very much. That was fun. Wasn't that fun? Yeah, I thought that was great. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. Whew. Joe Biden, yeah. He was known as a liar in college. He cheated on his exam, on his bar exam. He was found to have cheated on the bar and called out on it too. So Biden basically is cut out of the same cloth that Trump is. Both of them are Zionists. Both of them are hog wild Zionists. And you're out of here, buddy. And being he had a penchant for being a Zionist, Joe Biden and Donald Trump both also like to make untoward advances at women and children. Now, you probably all know that Donald Trump was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl, right? Justice for Katie. She dropped the rape charges because she feared for her life, she said. Yeah. And we all know that Joe Biden has had untoward touching activities with women and children. So you've got really a choice this coming up election between a Zionist perv versus a Zionist perv who both like to lie. Boy, America, you really have advanced. I mean, politically, you're like worms in a compost bin. You're not really doing anything to solve your country's problems. So we came up with a third party that you guys come and watch us about every night. I appreciate that. But let's be real here. I mean, we're going to have to do something to stop these two parties. We can't just rely on poor Dave doing a show every night. So we're kind of in a screwed up place right now, to be honest. Now, as much as I keep trying to do the show against all obstacles, we have been censored on all different levels in ways that many people don't even seem to understand. I've got people in my own room who are supporters that just don't even understand that Mark is getting paid millions of dollars. They think that's a joke. And they don't understand that YouTube and Twitter have virtually shut us down, except they keep our videos up, but people can't even access my website. I had a guy come in tonight saying, we can't find your website on YouTube. So I gave him the link. So I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, we have a lot of conservatives, and many of you did vote for Trump, and many of you did vote for Obama in the previous election. So I know that there's a lot of mixed feelings about what's happening, and politics is an amorphous, changing thing. It's really the sharing of ideas, and you're welcome to change your views. I'm not here to make you stick to one belief. You're here to, you can become you can change. The thing about awareness is you can become more aware as time goes on and begin to realize something is happening. There are a lot of people that believe Mark is censoring me. The people that got money believe it. The people that send me letters saying, dude, I don't know why I'm getting so much money doxing you. They actually feel guilty. I'm not going to name names, but they feel guilty that they make millions of dollars doxing me. I wish I was making this up. I really wish I was. And I know a lot of you want to believe that Mark is just, hosing you with some BS that he made money. But Mark bragged about making money, lots of it. And then all of a sudden he talked to his attorney, and then now he doesn't know what to say, except now it's a big joke. That's what happened. T. Rucker was so afraid that I was going after him as a doxer that he actually faked his death. I told him I was going to extradite him from Canada for doxing us. And he actually tried to fake his death. You can imagine that. So you could think that they're making it up all you want, but they're not. I've got ample evidence to suggest that Mark is getting seriously rich off of this show. And I've made not one penny. So you can imagine the yin yang going on here and how it's going to bounce back hard on their ass. Every one of them is going to end up facing some serious charges. You really think that you can play dirty games like this and not have a karmic backlash of astronomical proportions? It's serious. When you're playing with good versus evil and you're supporting evil, bad things happen to bad people. And I'm telling you, karma it's a real bitch, and it's coming. Me, I'm lucky to actually have a broadcast every night, and I'm thankful for that. And I don't make a penny on this, and because I'm doing this to challenge the evil elitists who use money constantly to manipulate people, I've chosen an opposite stance where money doesn't matter here, where you get a free show every night, and you get to talk to me on many different levels. That's very rare when you think about it. I've reached so many people through this medium that I'm happy with what I've done, and I'm not looking to try to benefit from it or profit from it like these evil people are doing. But they're preventing this party from forming in America, and that's heavy duty. That's a serious, at least Class C felony with the FEC, at least. I'm not being threatened to not talk about anything. I'm more than willing to talk about the G20, but again, I'm leading on stories all around the world and have for some time. The G20 has issues with the European Union that they cannot resolve. The fact that Brexit is still moving forward by the will of the British people troubles the European Union, and they're not sure how to move forward. And remember, countries like Germany and Sweden and Norway are carrying the burden of the EU. The Greek debt still is there. The austerity plan didn't work. Corruption still is within the ranks of every political framework in the world. Every single country that's leeching off the European Union's dollar for money from the European Central Bank just to keep going, they're still doing it. We're going nowhere. They're not getting better, they're getting worse. There's no method for these people to clean up their act. We don't even have a third party yet in America. There's no method for our country to clean up its act, because the entire political process is being dominated by the New World Order. Even the European Union, that's one of their primary steps in their big plan. And I argue that the nation-state model has succeeded against every attempt to take it down. Caesar tried to take control of the world. and defy the nation-state model. That's right. Napoleon tried to do it. He failed. Hitler tried to do it. He failed. Every single group that tries to take over a world and create global governance has failed, because it's impossible to manage human problems on a global basis. Now, just because we have global communication and the reach of unbelievable proportion and the power to create food at an international level, doesn't mean that we're going to feed the masses. Doesn't mean that we're communicating. It simply means that we've got the ability to use these tools, but we haven't implemented them. And consequently, the New World Order has this fictitious belief that global governance is going to get us where we need to go with no wars. But I argue that they're actually creating wars in the process of trying to dominate the planet and take over countries like Iran and Syria. Now, this New World Order group of people, they're not too bright, believe it or not. And they're working out of a playbook that was written over 500 years ago. It's a very, very simple plan. It's divide and conquer. It's the Hegelian dialectic. And they've been using this method to control our nation and other nations for years. They also control points at which they pitch propaganda and control our views. So this internet has opened up an opportunity for all of us to share ideas, and I would never be able to explain this to you any other way. I couldn't write this down and expect you to read it in a newspaper. So we're really dealing with some very complex things in a simple way using the power of this medium. And I could never have conveyed the problems that would exist in this country, in this world, if I hadn't had this medium. So I'm thankful just to be doing a broadcast on a laptop. I'm a very simple person. I don't require a lot to survive. But a laptop with this ability, I'm in heaven. I really am. And this road trip has been really fun for me. I've been able to do my show and have a great time with Sarah. The only drawback is we don't get to watch late night TV together, which she would love to do because I take up the space necessary to watch a show. So we kept the show from 6 to 9 to keep it so that we could actually watch a little late night TV together. Yeah, just so you know. Okay, Beijing, Hong Kong extradition bill for Meng. In Hong Kong, we have pushed back against the extradition bill, but China is finding other ways to attack our freedom. Okay. Oh, Beijing is still trying to control China, or trying to control Hong Kong. Right. Yeah, I heard that was a serious problem. In Hong Kong, we pushed back against the extradition bill, but they're trying to extradite anyone from Hong Kong that's been tried and send them to Beijing for further, yeah. The people of Hong Kong haven't defeated the proposed extradition law to China yet. We've only earned a small window to catch our breath. And so have the hardliners in the administration and the Chinese government. Right, last Friday, thousands of protesters staged a sit-in in front of the police headquarters in Hong Kong. Most of the protesters were in their early 20s. Many were still high school students. They chanted slogans demanding the full withdrawal of the unpopular extradition bill, the dropping of riot charges against peaceful protesters, and justice for the victims of police brutality. The protesters might be youthful, but they are mature enough to know the temporary concessions made by the government can be overturned in the twinkling of an eye. Beijing is hiding under the radar to avoid losing further popular support, but its plan to erode the autonomy and freedom of Hong Kong continues. We are certain that the stricter social control from Beijing will be imposed on our liberal society under Xi Jinping's iron-fisted rule. We know this because we are fully aware of Hong Kong's recent history. Well, you know, when Hong Kong fell under British rule, they had much freer capitalist economy. And when China acquired Hong Kong on an agreement with Jimmy Carter that would, and others, that would happen at a set time. Well, that's my big argument, that Trump is trying to destroy relations with China because he wants to help Russia look good. Remember, China and the U.S., their trade is huge, and we have a large, very large, growing economy. Both our countries. Russia looks like small potatoes compared to China and the U.S. So it's very likely Trump is trying to help Russia by disabling our trade relations with China and Japan. Look what he's doing. He's dismantling years of progress toward trade ever since Nixon. I mean, this is kind of scary that you people can't see this. But whatever. At least I deliver a message every night and put it on YouTube. Hey, you want to see our shows from the past few days? You can check them out at http:// Yeah, I'm posting it over at youtube.com/David John Sponheim. So you can check it out. All our shows on our trip will be posted over there, not on our main site. My last show over at our main site is still pretty relevant to what we're talking about. So if you want to see that, you certainly can. But you guys can go check out the show here, and all of our archives are there now at this point. So it's our cooking channel, or my cooking channel, but I'm more than willing to share it with you guys. And I'm kind of giving YouTube a rest over at America's Third Party. I'm tired of the censorship. I got banned. I had a banned video, and I had to post it at 153news.org. It's up there. It's getting over 1,000 hits. I'm very pleased about that. But at the same time, the people want to bury their hands in the sand. I know. It's a case of TMI for everybody in America. We're all suffering from what Alvin Toffler called future shock. And I see it around me. People are just trying to get to work and get through their life, and it's so difficult for them to actually formulate complex thoughts like politics. So it's easier just to fall into the category of being prejudiced against the Democrats or prejudiced against the Republicans. Will watching Australian rules football turn you gay? No. You may already be gay. You just don't know it. They say that people are eating soy right now. Genetically modified soy creates esters, and men who eat the soy are turning gay. That's an urban myth. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. Hey, but this has been great. I appreciate you guys participating in the show, as you know. Yeah, every night we got great mods and great people coming in watching the show. We have lots of viewers who catch our show on UHF, but I have no idea, how many people are watching at any given time. I know that Mark Vaughn did some manipulation of the signal, and we've seen hundreds of thousands of people watching us on Vaughn, but it only reads like 125. Right now we got 51 people. We're not really sure how many guests really are watching, because we know Mark is definitely manipulating that number as well. So I realize that the viewership around the globe is very strong and is continually strong, and we're still a very strong show. But you'll notice that our chat rooms are dwindling because Mark is doing what they're telling him to do, is to keep honing us down just like we would treat cattle. They're corralling us in these two chat rooms. Now we've tried to break out of these chat rooms into other venues, and they too are being censored. So we're trying to come up with a configuration that anybody can get into without censorship and chat. And you'd think that would be a simple task, considering there's IRC systems out there that people can chat on openly without any efforts. Unfortunately, we can't plug them into our show as easily without losing control of them and having our IP and your IP exposed. So we're still trying to find a way in which guests can come in anonymously, but we can actually listen to the backbone of that, whereas hackers can't. Now we have a chat room at America's Third Party that you just can post at, but that IP is evident. Your IP will be seen. We're trying to get IP confidentiality down before we start into an open chat room of another kind. So we're still trying to find that ideal fit, but it won't be till after the summer till we find something. But I want to open up a new chat room and make it available for guests to just come in and chat. But we've had problems with censorship even in those areas. So it's kind of a strange, weird world where 10 years ago we thought everything was going to get a lot better, and it got a lot worse. 10 years ago we had Stickcam, Justin TV, We had Stream Up. All of those are gone. Twitch is our other option, and we noticed that we recently are being censored again on Twitch by a guy named Capital Gain. When he found out our show is up, our viewers went down, so I stopped broadcasting for a while at Twitch, partly because I've got a slower signal here. But we have to do these things from high-speed internet spots, Wi-Fi hotspots right now, and this summer we will be getting a Wi-Fi hotspot. So, yeah, I mean, Blog TV, I didn't even mention that. We were on that for 4 years, and they bought that up. Some guy with $5 million to blow. And he doesn't seem like a rich guy, which is very suspicious. He looks more like a federal informant. Bought up Blog TV for $5 million, and it just disappeared. One of the best venues we've ever seen. Gone like that. So you see, rich internet applications are being controlled with the new form of censorship. And all these ways of communicating freely on the internet are slowly kind of whittling down. You see that? I'm not the only one talking about this. There's a lot of people who are worried about this, and the internet's becoming an intranet. And on that note, I'm going to leave the show and say goodnight, but we'll be back tomorrow night with a full show and bring you ample information sharing, link sharing, and the 3-hour segment is working for us. It's just enough for us to give you a little bit of everything and touch on all the subjects in the news, and still deliver our special ideas that I think will help the country get better. Now, this process is very slow and tedious, and I realize that a lot of you may be, wondering where it's going. The fact is it's still going. Always remember that these people want to shut me down in the worst way. And the fact that we keep broadcasting really upsets them. And that's a good thing, because they're worried. They're worried that this centrist movement is going to take off, and they don't know how to handle it. If the word of mouth spreads among Americans, it's out of their control, and then they've got a problem, because then they got to give me mainstream media attention, and then they got to deal with a person with my intelligence attacking them on their activities. And believe me, I won't settle for less than the truth. All right, thank you, everyone. I'm going to sign out with a little bit of music here, I guess. See if I can get one of my songs in. Sometimes they come in. Well, take care. We'll see you later. Good night.
You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good to be true. You spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I finally found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good. Just spin my world around, 'cause you're the peace I finally found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. I finally found. You sweep me off my feet, my heart stops to beat, 'cause you make me melt away. You're Mr. Right, my Mr. Right, too good.